right. With Loan Pronto, you can get all the cash you need without touching your first mortgage and without any fees. One local homeowner just got $100,000, paid off all their credit cards, paid off their existing HELOC, remodeled their kitchen, and saved over $1,500 per month. It gets better. There's no hard credit pull up front, usually no appraisal, no long drawn-out process. And listen, no closing costs. You may be able to even skip your next 2 house payments. Call Loan Pronto now. Leave your low-rate mortgage intact, but get the cash you need in as little as 2 weeks without paying closing costs. LoanPronto.com. See how much you can get right now. Call 919-381-1760. That's 919-381-1760. LoanPronto.com. For qualified homeowners, equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
It's bow time. We think a chicken sandwich this good should speak for itself. But when you're talking juicy, hand-breaded, and boldly seasoned chicken breasts, piled up with thick-cut pickles and creamy mayo all on a buttery toasted bun, well, we are happy to say it again and again and again. Bo's Chicken Sandwich, only at Bojangles. It's bow time.
It's bow time. Time to satisfy your Bojangles sandwich craving. With Bojangles sandwich lineup, you can choose a flavorful Cajun fried chicken filet sandwich, or a tender Cajun grilled chicken filet sandwich, or a tasty Bo's chicken sandwich. Make it a combo and add your choice of a side and Bojangles legendary iced tea. There's a Bojangles sandwich combo for everyone. Summer just doesn't get any better than that. What are you waiting for? It's bow time.
At the V Foundation, V is for victory over cancer. V is for victory over giving up.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Join our team in the fight against cancer at V.org.
Summer's winding down and life is ramping back up. And Aleve is here for all those moments that matter. From early mornings to late afternoons, Aleve relieves pain in 30 minutes for up to 12 hours with just one pill. For busy schedules packed with school drop-offs, long meetings, and an endless to-do list, Aleve delivers long-lasting pain relief so you can keep on track. From sunup to sundown, you'll be ready for whatever's next. Feel Aleve. Use as directed for minor aches and pains.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Workers' comp can be tricky, but my law firm will be on top of all the complicated paperwork and sneaky deadlines so that all of your I's are dotted and T's are crossed. If you've been hurt on the job, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Eagle Leasing Storage Studio. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
Hey! It's the weather.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. A good feel to the air out there. Our humidity remains low today, but temperatures this afternoon are on the hot side with highs in the mid to upper 80s. We're rain-free today, but the chances begin to creep up tomorrow. Another nice cool night tonight with temperatures in the mid-60s, but tomorrow's high, 90 degrees with a few isolated storms possible.
3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones up 150 points today to 53,567.
Deep left corner of the end zone! Jalen Coker hauls it in for a touchdown!
Off the back iron, Wilson comes soaring in to dunk it home.
Copeland jabs on him a couple of times. Step back three-pointer, left corner, swish.
One dribble out for Boozer for three. Big time!
And the Carolina Hurricanes are the best team in the NHL. They won the 2026 Stanley Cup.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. It is a great week for football. Week 0. It is a great week to be a Carolina Hurricanes fan because I woke up today and they're still Stanley Cup champions. We may even see that Stanley Cup later today. And it's a great day to be a baseball fan because we are out at the legendary Durham Bulls Athletic Park, where the Durham Bulls are not only hosting a baseball game today, they are also hosting the Stanley Cup. So this is one of those confluence shows where everything intersects. It is just simply a great day to be a sports fan in the Triangle in North Carolina today. We're going to do our best to serve all of the sports fans in the Triangle in North Carolina today with a great show. I'm Tim Donnelly. Here with me at Durham Bulls Athletic Park is Dennis Cox. Keeping us up and running behind the scenes, Dave Modlin. Back at the studio keeping us up and running is Max Gorin. And I'm excited, so let's not wait. It's time for the Big 3 at 3. The Big 3 at 3 is presented. Sorry, I jumped the gun. I'm just excited, like I said.
You're anxious over here.
I am. Big 3 at 3 is presented by Maynard Service Company, heating, cooling, plumbing, electrical work. Check them out online, MaynardServices.com, MAYNOR Services.com. First on the list, right where we are, Durham Bulls Athletic Park. I haven't seen it yet. I haven't put my own eyes on it yet. But the Stanley Cup's going to be in the building.
It is going to be here.
The Stanley Cup is going to be in the building. There's a great relationship here. Jordan Martin kind of spearheading it between the Canes and the Bulls. But it is going to be a great night. The weather is unbelievable. The baseball vibes are high. And anytime you put a Stanley Cup just in the mix, or maybe that's what you mix the mix in as the dishware, it's going to be a great day. It's going to be a great day. As I often do when we're in these, this is like a crossover episode for me. This is like where like Zach Morris from Saved by the Bell shows up on Boy Meets World.
Yeah.
Right? This is like a crossover episode. I look for the things that we can talk about that kind of connect. I think one of the underlying similarities between the Durham Bulls and ipso facto the Tampa Bay Rays system, right, which they're a part of, and the Carolina Hurricanes, are they look for the value everywhere. The analytics are strong. You start to see all of the ways that the Tampa Bay Rays have been able to compete in their division with Boston and the Yankees and Toronto and some of these bigger beasts when it comes to economics. And then you look at some of the ways that Carolina is able to win a cup despite the fact that they're a newer team in a quote-unquote non-traditional hockey market. But it's by finding all the value in the margins. I look at it and I go, if you put Eric Tolsky and some of the front office that runs the Bulls and the Rays in a room together, I bet you they'd have a lot in common.
They probably would, actually.
And the way they handle trades, the way they handle prospects, which, by the way, there are two pretty significant prospects we'll talk about later on that are within the last 24 hours have been promoted to the AAA Durham Bulls. So, like, the way they handle prospects, the way they develop them, the way they season them, I look at the similarities and think that's probably why they're two of the better-run organizations in their independent professional sports industries.
I know that Mike Burling, the VP here for the Durham Bulls, has talked about how the Major League Club, the Rays, will actually instruct the Bulls on how to do some different stuff to test analytics. Like, all right, what does the data show? We're going to test it down with you guys. And if the data shows that it's a positive, we're going to try and implement those things up here at the Major League level. So they use their farm system in that way as well, which I think is actually kind of genius when you think about it.
Mike Burling, we've had a few conversations with him. He's talked about how this building that we're in, right, the Durham Bulls Athletic Park, which, by the way, is one of the best minor league parks in the entire country.
Oh, yeah.
It's actually like outfitted with super cameras and GPS and all these things so they're not just monitoring, like, did you steal the base? They're monitoring what was your max speed, what was your jump, how far was your lead, what was your angle, when did you start to slide? Like, all of that comes in. So it's just, it's there's both. I always say this, there's both, right? I still think you need to know what the sound of the crack of the bats for a great swing sounds like, right? You still need to have baseball guys. You still need to have hockey guys. But these two programs are also at the forefront of, I can tell you how good a player is without watching, right?
Yeah.
You give me the numbers, and I'll tell you which one we want to have up in the big soon. So it's an exciting time. I like it when the crossover literally happens with the Cup here at the Durham Bulls game, which we're expecting later on. And should be a good vibe at the ballpark, which, by the way, it is a 99.9 The Fan Zone Tuesday.
I say there's some seats right here down left field line, down third base line. You want some seats, $9.99 in our section 205.
One of the best. I actually think it's one of the best sections in the ballpark. You have a realistic chance of catching a foul ball.
That's true.
Because with the nets and everything for safety, there's not as many as there used to be, rightfully so. But you can realistically catch a foul ball. Great view of the ballpark. Obviously, $9.99 tickets. Go ahead and make it happen. That is number one. Let's get to number two.
Number two.
We know who's going to be the Duke Blue Devils starting quarterback, at least for week one. Reminders for everybody. anytime someone names a starter, it's right now. Obviously, this can change as the season goes along, get injuries, performance, whatever have you. But Walker Eget is the starting quarterback at Duke. I think actually, and we joked about this yesterday on the show, there's a world where this was maybe they were forced to show their hand because he was on the Manning Award watch list yesterday as one of the 27 expected best quarterbacks in the country. But either way, Walker Eget taking over, incoming transfer, veteran player. He's played a whole bunch. The way I look at this is he was battling Dan Mahan. And if you paid attention to any of the wording that the insiders gave out when Walker Eget was revealed as the starter, Duke was, whoever they were leaking it to or whoever was the source for the insiders, was very clear that Dan Mahan impressed in this quarterback competition. Walker Eget just won the quarterback competition. It was close. It was a tight performance, and it came down to who they thought was going to be best for them this year. I still think Dan Mahan is a part of their future. And Manny Diaz spoke to the media today, and he was obviously asked about naming his starter, Walker Eget. This is what he had to say.
It was a good decision because it was a hard decision. So we're really pleased at how both quarterbacks developed. I think Dan has made really massive strides with all the reps he got in spring when Walker was limited, and then just through the competition that we had in training camp. I think the team believes that we can win with both guys. Both guys have a different set of skill sets that we could, frame our offense around. But when it all came down to it, it was just about consistency, which is normally just what you expect from an older guy, of keeping the same level day after day. And so, I think we were at that moment. I think the team, just given our offseason, I think the team needed a starting quarterback. And like I said, they'll follow both, but I think they're happy now that they know that Walker is the number one.
Transfer from San Jose State, brings a whole bunch of experience. The stat that I love most about Walker Eget, and we talked about this, I think it was last week. Last year, the stat is number of pressured dropbacks per sack, right? So it's how many times he was pressured per each time he actually succumbed to the pressure and gave up the sack.
Okay.
Of every returning FBS quarterback, he has the best ratio. 21.5 pressures per sack. So either great decision-making, get rid of the ball, just dump it, or super elusive, or just fast, right? There's like a few different ways, but he avoids sacks, which traditionally is very, very good for a team like Duke this year that I think wants to lean on the running game and lean on your defense, where they're thinking, if their defense is much improved from last year, where they're thinking, 2nd and 10 keeps everything in the playbook. 2nd and 17 means we're going to have to be something that's not our identity. So I think that played into it, right? Just a veteran that knows what he's seeing and knows when to cut bait on a play and avoid the sack. So we'll continue to preview that one.
6-year player, by the way. 6-year player.
Which leads us into number 3.
Number 3.
We have the latest in an ongoing saga that might as well start with like the Law and Order intro, because it's all courts and rulings and everything else. Exactly. I'm produced by Dick Wolf.
I know.
Here's the deal. 5-for-5 eligibility with the college football / college athletics world. The latest twist is actually there's like 10 latest twists.
Yeah.
The latest twist is the Big Ten got together and they voted unanimously to ban players. There it is. Ban players that have played in the NFL or signed NFL contracts from coming back and playing in the Big Ten. Now, I already know what the counter argument from the players is going to be, because the SEC is also meeting on this. The ACC is considering the rule. Like all the other conferences are considering following suit. Daquan Wright, the tight end for the Cleveland Browns, who was put on waivers yesterday and already has an agreement if he clears waivers to go to LSU, his attorneys have come out and said, we agree. You should not be able to go sign an NFL contract and then go back to college. But also, if you only signed an NFL contract under the pretense that your college eligibility was expired, and it shouldn't have been, that should not count as signing a NFL contract in the same way that all the other NFL contracts are considered. There will be more court processes involved. He has LSU behind him. LSU is obviously comfortable ruffling feathers. Lane Kiffin, Will Wade. So it is far from over there. Side note, the federal case that took place in Colorado that originally said all 2022 high school class recruits that played 4 years and 4 years would be eligible for a fifth year, and then that was overturned on NCAA appeal. There's now an appeal to the appeal, I guess, without a I don't know the legalese.
It's like double dare, physical challenge. Let's go.
Yeah, exactly. Double or nothing for the players has been approved for that to be expedited on the simple fact that they're hoping to get that ruling on the appeal. I promise the whole show will not be this deep into the legals. They're hoping to get that appeal done before week 1 because NCAA rosters lock on the day of the first game.
Yeah.
Where you can't add players to the roster, and if players not there, you can't add them, and teams can't have ineligible players on their roster. It's a whole thing. So they are trying to expedite that process to get the federal decision appealed prior to games being played so players can quickly be added to rosters. Some believe they're trying to time it up so the appeal will be heard and decided upon without enough time for the appeal process from the NCAA coming back in the other direction to take place before game 1 starts. It is a whole thing. It is confusing. At this point, I half want to see if I still have eligibility. But that would just...
You might.
That would just
I mean,
be
that's what I...
I mean, I don't even... It would just be for the bit. I don't think I'm helping any team. But if you want like a team podcast or something, I can be a fourth string quarterback and also build the brand of all of your players with that 105th roster spot. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan.
I will help break down film.
That is true.
And I'll also do media training for your players.
And I will take any NIL checks you want to send.
Absolutely.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That's for Duke. Duke doesn't play week 0. When we're talking about the starting quarterback, we talked about Walker Eget. Duke doesn't play week 0. They play week 1. So they have, 9 days to figure out what they want to do and how they want to play.
That close.
Week 0 is 4 days away. Oof. That's NC State. That's UNC. We preview those games, not against each other, playing different teams. But we preview those games coming up next.
I'm Sam, owner of Marino's Landscape. With my Chase Ink Business Premier Card, I earn unlimited 2.5% cash back on purchases of $5,000 or more. So everything I buy to run my landscaping business gives me cash back to help throw a big thank you party for my team. For all they do.
Chase Ink. Cash back built for every business. Find the right card at chase.com/ink. Real business owner compensated for their participation. Cards issued by JPMorgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC. Subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
You pull up at a McDonald's drive-thru at the crack of dawn to get your $3 crispy chicken biscuit. You've been craving it all night. It was a very long night, but your taste buds pulled through. Those are no ordinary taste buds, and you are no ordinary human. You are a champion, and you deserve a $3 crispy chicken biscuit. Price and participation may vary, cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
You've got rhythm. Your heart's got rhythm. Then one day your rhythm's off, and you've got AFib, atrial fibrillation. The good news is you've also got an AFib center, where specialists in AFib have multiple treatment options for you. Want more good news? Most of them are minimally invasive. Learn more at wakemed.org. And what do you say you and your heart get the band back together?
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Oh, all right, P.
Yeah. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan.
Just
I don't want to be the one to break this news to you if you haven't heard yet, but I feel like we can't leave you in a lurch. It is with sadness. Dolly Parton passed away today, according to a statement from her family and representation. That's a bummer. Dolly was without having known her, obviously, but having known of her. Seems like one of those people that just like radiated positivity. If you're unaware, maybe you don't have kids or you haven't heard, she put together a program. I believe it's Imagination Book, something with imagination in the title, where if you register, they send your child a book every single month until they turn 5.
Yeah.
Free of charge. Just she wants kids to be able to have, bedtime stories. Dollywood is awesome. Her music is crazy. Just again, seems like somebody that passed along a lot of positivity and again with sadness. She's passed away. I believe she was 80. And dealing with some medical issues recently, but no cause of death or anything has been revealed. And also, she wrote Jolene and I Will Always Love You on the same day.
Yeah.
Same day. Well, like essentially one writing session. When you do that, you're a musician and you write those two songs on the same day, and that's not the first thing people talk about when you pass away. They talk about all the good you did and everything else. That says a lot. So, Dolly Parton, R.I.P. No easy transitions. We'll just move along. Week 0, college football this weekend. 4 days. This Saturday, UNC will be taking on TCU to open their season for the second straight year. This time, it'll be in Dublin, Ireland. NC State will be taking on Virginia. This time, not in Brazil. It'll be in Charlottesville. Let's start with a couple of tidbits here, right? Just a couple of fun facts for you to get ready. The spread was released today by most sports books. TCU 7.5-point favorite over UNC.
Mm-hmm.
My first thought was how. We all watched the game last year.
Yeah. Like, that's it? Just 7.5?
7.5. Just maybe it's just I have the final image of just TCU running up the score on UNC last year. But there's basically, I don't know, 2 ways maybe that sports books or gamblers or, if you think it's going to be a much closer game, 2 ways that UNC maybe close the gap. One, Bobby Petrino, right? If the offense is simply better run because you have a super, super grizzled veteran offensive coordinator calling the shots, Billy Edwards Jr., right? Everything kind of falls under that. Him picking the quarterback, him calling the plays, him designing the offense. Perhaps that's a way you think Carolina will be much closer to TCU. Or TCU actually had some shakeup. Same head coach, same vibe. They've won a bunch of games over the last 4 years, had an appearance in the national title game not that long ago. Granted, they got schmalacked. But the offense will be very different. Their offensive coordinator is now with South Carolina, Kendall Briles from last year, and he's an aired-out guy. And Gordon Samus, the offensive coordinator from UConn last year, has taken over. He's a run-first guy. So there's at least some growing pains that you might expect there, although I was a big fan of UConn's offense last year because they did not turn the ball over.
And also their quarterback from last year, Hoover, is in Indiana now. He's their starting quarterback.
And he's being replaced with it's Jaden Craig, who comes with 4 years of experience at Harvard. So he bounces over to TCU to try to see if he can hang in the power conferences. He was a highly regarded transfer as well. So that's why I guess you could justify a 7.5-point spread after seeing these two teams and say, there's enough difference there. There's enough unknown that you give Carolina a chance to keep it a one-score game. When you look at NC State, I thought this is like one of my, I'm going to say this a bunch of times this week. When you have a coach that's been at one place as long as Dave Doran has been at NC State, and you are returning offensive coordinator from last year, defensive coordinator from last year, and quarterback from the last 2 years, I look around and I go, stability, experience has to be on your side, right? Like, has to be your advantage, especially when you look at Virginia and realize they only have 8 starters returning. But there's some stats that make you maybe go, hold on here. Some of this is, or a good amount of this is out of the transfer portal. So stability is still on NC State's side. But Virginia has the most combined starts of college football on their roster. Guys that were on the team last year combined with the career starts of guys that were brought in the transfer portal of any team in the country.
Oh, wow.
And it's not close. They
So
have
that level of experience.
571 combined starts and 39,158 snaps in the FCS or FBS level. The runners-up have 82 fewer starts and 3,320 fewer snaps. So Virginia is quite literally the most experienced team in the country. NC State has fewer than half of Virginia's numbers with 248 starts and 19,428 snaps. All of that to say this. Catching them week one, you're going to have to make that seem like it's not an issue, right? You're going to have to make it seem like, your veterans are older than they are. Your new guys can't act like new guys. You know what I mean? If you have a freshman or a redshirt freshman playing, there's no room for rookie mistakes or freshman mistakes because Virginia, I don't know if you can have anybody that's like playing as a freshman if you have 571 starts on your roster. It's going to be that. Virginia does have the same head coach, same offensive coordinator, and same defensive coordinator as last year as well. They do not have the same quarterback, which does feel appropriate for NC State in that it seems like everything this offseason going into the season always ends back with C.J. Bailey, right? It's both teams have coaches that have been there for a decent amount of time now. Both teams have coordinators that are in the same positions they were last year. Both teams have some excitement, some new. They're probably more stable and more experienced than most teams are going to play, except for the fact that Virginia has a new quarterback, and C.J. Bailey has been at NC State now starting for the better part of the last 2 seasons going into his third. He has to be the difference. He has to be the guy that outplays Bo Prabula and keeps Virginia's defense, as veteran as they are, a little bit on edge, a little bit confused.
That's the thing about Virginia that you just don't know. With Bo Prabula now as their starting quarterback, having been last year at Missouri, previously to that he was at Penn State, you don't know what to expect with him. Obviously, Chandler Morris was there last year at Virginia, and they obviously got to the ACC championship game. But I don't know what to expect from Bo Prabula. When he was backing up Drew Aller at Penn State, he was known as like the sub guy. If you need a running situation, like that was his job. Like is UVA, is Tony Elliott going to try and use his legs a bunch? And how does NC State's defense handle that?
Virginia's offensive line is very, very good. There were a lot of guys that were mentioned when I was asking around to find out who I should put on my All-ACC preseason ballot. Virginia was highly represented in suggestions, which means the quarterback run and the read keep, meaning all the option stuff, becomes a big deal, right? If you have a good offensive line and you have a running quarterback that can occupy one defender with a fake or obviously keep it, that's going to be a challenge for NC State's defense, who last year, new system under DJ Elliott, a lot of reasons why they struggled, but they did struggle. They're going to have to be significantly better right out the gate against Virginia because that is a very, very big game in the ACC. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We continue from here at Durham Bulls Athletic Park, where the Stanley Cup will be in attendance for tonight's Durham Bulls AAA minor league baseball game. So we're talking football at the baseball stadium ahead of a baseball game with the Stanley Cup on the way. This is a great day for sports. I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully you are as well. And we have the Dean's List coming up next. But first, I believe Dennis has something he'd like to tell you.
And then I do. Dennis Cox here real quick for my good friends over at Law Tigers. I know with this beautiful weather, days like today, I love getting out on the motorcycle and going for a ride. Yesterday, I was on my bike for about 2 hours yesterday, just enjoying the beautiful weather. But sometimes as a motorcycle rider, we sometimes can lose sight of what's around us. We get so focused and locked in, just kind of relaxing on the road that we are a little bit unaware of might be what's happening around us. I always tell motorcycle riders this, and I remind myself of this, always have an escape. You never know when someone's going to creep over into your lane. Someone might try and cut you off. Always have an escape as a motorcycle rider. But if you're injured in a motorcycle accident and it's not your fault, contact Law Tigers at 1-800-LAW-TIGERS even before you get in touch with the insurance company. Here's the reason why. With Law Tigers, they're part of the motorcycle riding community. They know what your bike is worth, they know what your gear is worth, but also they understand the dangers of the road. That's why your case evaluation is always free, and you don't pay a dime until your case settles. Whereas insurance companies want to give you the least amount possible. So contact the people that are there to fight for you. 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, will continue from here at Durham Bulls Athletic Park after this with a little Dean's List action. Stick around.
Is your heating and air system ready for the warmer weather? Call Newcomb & Company to ensure your system is running at peak performance. As a Comfort Contract customer, you'll get priority service and a 15% discount on all HVAC and plumbing service calls and repairs. Newcomb & Company, your Carrier Factory Authorized dealer, has proudly served our community for more than 70 years, delivering reliable comfort and peace of mind. Call 919-862-3000 or visit newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company. Your comfort is our business.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-292-4541 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-292-4541. That's 800-292-4541. What do you have to lose? Call 800-292-4541. Again, 800-292-4541.
It's time to celebrate Global Golf Raleigh's anniversary sale August 24th to the 29th. Save $50 off purchases of $300 and $125 on $600. Plus pre-owned Vokey wedges starting at $89.99 and take 20% off golf bags. Also get a huge 50% trade-in bonus towards your next upgrade. Visit the Global Golf Outlet at 7320 ACC Boulevard in North Raleigh. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 6. Global Golf, home of the best deals in golf. Some exclusions apply. In-store offers only.
This hour of The Drive is brought to you by All-Star Dog Training. You've seen their dogs featured in college and professional sports. They can train your dog, too. Visit allstardogtraining.com and schedule your free evaluation today.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I would assume we're going to have quite a bit of Dolly Parton playing today, simply because we are honoring the legend that is Dolly Parton, as news broke earlier today that she has passed away. So, again, continue to pass along support to her family, her community, everybody that loved the legendary Dolly Parton. We are here at Durham Bulls Athletic Park. I'm Tim Donnelly, and this is The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. I do have some information I can pass along to you if you are interested in the reason why we're here at Durham Bulls Athletic Park, which is the fact that the Stanley Cup will be in attendance, in addition to a 6:45 opening pitch between the Durham Bulls and the Norfolk Tides, who are in town as the visiting team. Gates will open 2 hours from now here at Durham Bulls Athletic Park. 5:30 gates will open. This Stanley Cup will be in attendance and will be available for photos in the outfield concourse from 5:30 to 9 p.m. The Cup will be on the field when Jordan Martinook throws out the first pitch at 6:12 p.m., and then we'll return to the concourse after. So Jordan Martinook, Party Marty, is going to be in the building. Carolina Hurricanes Stanley Cup champion, one of the team leaders, heart and soul of the Carolina Hurricanes. He'll be here throwing out the first pitch. The Cup will be in the outfield concourse for pictures from 5:30 to 9. Gates open at 5:30. We're already in here because, we have awesome jobs, but we get to enjoy the weather. Have not seen the Cup yet. We'll let you know when we get eyes on her. But the players are warming up behind us. So it's a great day for baseball. In the meantime, we got to keep the show rolling along. So Max Gorin back at the studio. Why don't you go ahead and put the bell to work and put the Dean's List in session. This is where we highlight those in the sports world that are directly or indirectly related to the college sports world, because we love the college sports world so much here in the Triangle in North Carolina. How about somebody who used to be in the Triangle in North Carolina, multiple different levels of football in the Triangle in North Carolina, and he is now elsewhere in North Carolina, and he's been named the starter. Lex Thomas makes the Dean's List. Western Carolina is naming NC State transfer Lex Thomas as the starting quarterback for the 2026 season. The first place I saw it, sources telling On3. Lex Thomas, Heritage High School in Wake Forest, did then go on to play at NC State, appeared in, I believe it was 4 games with the Wolfpack in 2 seasons. Drake Thomas, Thayer Thomas's little brother. State fans know those names. This, to me, is what the transfer portal is there for. Lex Thomas, by all accounts, was a really, really good member of NC State's culture and locker room, and he backed up the players that he was going to back up, and he served the team, and he was good vibes. And he wants to play before his college career is over, so he transfers, goes to Western Carolina, and now he's named the starter, and he gets an opportunity to, sling it around in college football, just like he used to sling it around at Heritage High School. So Lex Thomas goes ahead and makes the Dean's List. More Dean's List. The Big Ten. Again, Pete Thamel was the first on it, ESPN College Football Insider. They're fighting back against some of the ridiculousness going on in college football. I don't know if it's going to hold up. I don't know if a lawyer isn't going to look at the Big Ten and say, oh, that's cute. You're trying to ban players that signed NFL contracts from going back and playing in the Big Ten. Awesome. The NCAA tried that as well. We simply sued them until that wasn't the case anymore, and we'll do the same to you. I don't know. But I like the idea that the Big Ten are fighting for common sense a little bit, and now some other conferences are at least considering following them in their ban of NFL athletes going back to college. But I give them credit for at least trying. And I don't agree with the Big Ten very often. So that's how ridiculous some of this stuff is, that I'm going, yeah, good on you, Big Ten. Kind of messed up. Dennis, do you have any Dean's Listers you'd like to add?
Well, so you had the Big Ten.
I had the Big Ten.
Who else did you have?
Lex Thomas, Heritage High School.
Oh, that's right. Heritage. That's right.
And obviously formerly of NC State.
NC
now
State.
The starter at Western Carolina.
Oh, good for him.
Named just yesterday.
Nice. Congrats to Lex. My Dean's List, lawyers. Because everyone that's involved in this NCAA eligibility stuff that's going on right now, cash in your pocket, man. Cash in your pocket, people. Lawyers.
I mean, the hard part is every lawyer that is representing the players is posturing as if they're fighting the good fight. Like, these players have been wronged, and how would you feel if this happened to you, and it's unfair? And I'm going like, well, you're probably getting paid pretty handsomely off this, right? You're not straight doing this out of the goodness of your heart. You got some billables going on, maybe some, hey, if this works, you got to give me 30% of your NIL check. Like, there's got to be something going on, and
that could be the case.
No, I'm not joking. Like, everything I just described is, I think, a pretty likely outcome. More Dean's List. How about Kevin Jennings of SMU?
Oh, I'm a big fan of his.
Kevin Jennings has a building named after him at SMU.
I know.
A donor donated a bunch of money for some recovery center, and they named it the Kevin Jennings Recovery Center.
My guess is because they could pay him for his name, image, and likeness to put his name on the building as a way to pay him. Legit NIL. That's true.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Lenora Sellers, the quarterback of South Carolina.
Yeah.
He was consulted on the visitors' locker room setup as that they redid at South Carolina. It's just, there's levels to this, right? Like, hey, when we have the visitors in a locker room, what should we do with their locker situation? Which, by the way, he said, here was the quote. Let me bring it up. The quote was from Lenora Sellers: "If there are a lot of lockers, then they've got to talk around the lockers," Sellers said last year. It's just funny that somebody's getting a building built with their name on it. and then another quarterback who is also a starter and multiple-year starter and could have left for more money and all that. He's just being asked, like, what should we do with the locker room? There's levels to this. So, Kevin Jennings, you're on the dean's list for being the top level. How crazy would it be to be like, I need to get some recovery work done. I'm going to my building. One of our buildings at Delaware was called the Bob Carpenter Center.
Yeah.
We called it the Bob. Do you think he's like, I'm going to the me? Like,
I'm going to the me.
Like everyone else is like, I'm going to the Kev. He's like, yeah, I'll meet you at me later. I'm going to hit this training table, and then I'm going to go, get my ankles taped in the me. I don't know. It's weird.
Hey, where you at right now, Kevin Jennings? No. I know who you are. Where are you, Kevin Jennings?
Yeah, wild. And then lastly, these are technically auto entries.
Okay.
If you're one of the teams we cover or from the state of North Carolina, and you do go ahead and make a preseason watch list or a preseason awards watch list, you get to automatically make it. And because of this, now I think my algorithm's like, you want a watch list? I'll give you the watch list. We've had the lower than FBS Kicker of the Year award watch list. We had the Elon kicker on there. This one might beat it for most niche awards watch list or most niche preseason watch list.
Okay.
Canadian Football League Scouting Bureau's preseason edition of the class of 2027 CFL prospect rankings, which means these are the best prospects in college football that are Canadian.
Hell yeah. Let's go.
They put out a top 20.
Let's go. Chuba Hubbard on that list?
He probably was.
Yeah.
I mean, the top 3 or 4 are actually impressive. It's like an LSU safety. There's like a South Carolina player, and they're like going to get drafted. Number 5 on the list is Nicholas Krugy, offensive lineman, goes to Charlotte. He's a 49er.
Okay.
He is from Toronto originally. And number 19 on the list is Ebenezer Badada, a defensive lineman from Calgary that goes to Campbell. So Campbell has one of the 20 best 2027 draft prospects in college football that are Canadian. They are on a watch list, a preseason awards watch list or a preseason draft watch list, Senior Bowl watch list, Mackey Award watch list, Canadian Football League Scouting Bureau's preseason edition of the class of 2027 prospect rankings watch list.
Nice.
Yeah, goes Bolitnikov, Heisman, CFL preseason bureau.
I want to say that there's an assistant, maybe like a defensive quality control coach or something along those lines with the Carolina Panthers that's from Canada. I think. I need to go look that up.
That's how they get Chuba. It is funny when you see those pipelines. This is a quick personal story. I say this often, but I spent some of my childhood out there in Hawaii, lived there for like 6 years. One of my buddies from Hawaii is now in the NFL. He's a defensive backs coach for the Tennessee Titans, but he bounced around college coaching for a while. And it was funny watching every school that he was an assistant for randomly would get like 2 recruits from Hawaii because he knows all the coaches out there. He knows the schools. He knows who's good. And also, I think he wanted that paid business trip back to our old stomping grounds out there in Hawaii. So he'd be like, I'm going to recruit. Pay for my ticket. And he would bring back a couple of players. So you get those weird pipelines, like a assistant coach is from a unusual place. They end up with few people from that place every single year. Or even if it's just like you have a history of that place, right? Duke having Trajan Langdon and Carlos Boozer both from Alaska, right? Like that kind of stuff just makes sense. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That is the Dean's List. Dennis, were you able to find a Canadian assistant?
I'm looking.
All right.
I'm looking. I could be wrong.
In that case,
could be wrong. Not afraid to admit if I'm wrong.
In that case, I'll tell you all about Maynard Service Company. Tim Donnelly here for Maynard Service Company. A day like today, it's pretty nice out. If it's a great day for baseball, if you're somebody that gets a little toasty, you probably want the air conditioner on, maybe shut the windows, right? And if you don't have a breeze where you are, if that's the case, Maynard Service Company needs to be saved in your phone because you use your air conditioner. And if your air conditioner malfunctions on a hot day, Maynard Service Company, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week service all across the Triangle. That's all of Wake County and 50 miles in any direction from Wake County. But it's not just your cooling system, right? Once the weather turns, football season's starting up, so the weather's going to be turning at some point. Your heating system, same deal. What if there's a plumbing emergency? Same deal. What if there's an electrical emergency? Same deal. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, all across the Triangle. Keep this number handy for Maynard Service Company. 919-361-0000. 919-363-0993. And small business and large business owners, also commercial properties, 919-361-0993. Or visit them online at MaynorServices.com, MAYNOR Services.com. The Stanley Cup is going to join us here in the stadium somewhere for the Durham Bulls game tonight. Do you think we'll be back here in 2031 with the Cup once again in the Triangle off a Canes win? Well, The Athletic tried to predict the 2030-2031 NHL standings, the final standings. I'll tell you where the Canes were on their projections and why they're haters. Coming up next.
Jake from State Farm. I just beat my run in PR, so I'm celebrating with the Banana Bonanza smoothie.
Hey, and you can keep celebrating when you create an affordable price just for you by bundling your home and auto with the State Farm Personal Price Plan. Go bananas.
I will. Hey, make it a large.
Bundling, just another way to save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
When it comes to your roof, it's all about quality above with peace of mind below. Hi, this is Holly with RoofWorks. We're proud to be in our 20th year helping families and businesses keep the roof over their heads as economically as possible. We work on every type of roof, gutters, and skylights with quality repairs, maintenance, and replacements for your home, your business, and multifamily. We offer warranties with every new roof and financing options for homeowners, and we're now serving Southern Pines as well. Visit us to learn more at roofwerks.com.
Some of life's most meaningful moments are in summertime. Anniversary dinner, weekend getaway, sunset toast to another beautiful year together. Celebrate your story with a gift as timeless as your love from Bailey's Fine Jewelry. From classic diamond bracelets to elegant watches and stunning anniversary bands, Bailey's helps you mark every milestone beautifully. This summer, celebrate the moments that matter most. Visit Bailey's Fine Jewelry in Raleigh, Cary, Greenville, Rocky Mount, and Charlotte. Every woman wants a Bailey box.
Try Angel Soft for your tushy. It's made by angels. Soft and strong, budget friendly. The choice is simple. A roll that feels like paradise and always at a heavenly price. Angel Soft, Angel Soft. Soft and strong, so it's simple.
Pick up a pack today.
Angel Soft. Soft and strong, simple.
Oh, Max, you put me in a tough spot. I don't want to talk over I Will Always Love You by Dolly Parton, especially a day like today where we are celebrating her legacy as she passed away earlier today, or at least the announcement came earlier today that she passed away. If you didn't know, I don't know how you didn't, but she wrote that song. I know Whitney Houston did some things with it, but Dolly, she wrote it. Same day she wrote Jolene. R.I.P. to Dolly and support to her entire community.
That sucks.
80 years old. But she packed some life into that 80 years
did.
old. Those 80 years. She packed. Do you know what this might be a myth at this point. But there's like legends that she could just like take off her wig and throw on regular clothes and straight be amongst like normal people.
I believe it.
And if she put on her wig and, did the Dolly thing, she would cause like riots at the grocery store. So she got to kind of choose when to be famous, which I think is the perfect level of fame, right? Like, she's not a prisoner like in her house, right? Because she could always just take off the wig and head on out, right? And just be living life and go for a walk. But if she ever wanted to be Dolly, she could turn on the dazzle, walk out there and give the people what they want at the drop of a hat. So much so that her husband, who's stayed largely in the private eye, and again, this could be a myth, but he would be like walking the dog and people would stop and go like, "Are you Dolly Parton's husband?" And he would just go like, "No." And they would just believe it and keep rolling. And it was like they could have their like super private life. And then also, she was like Miley Cyrus godmother and wrote some of the biggest songs in the history of the world and had an amusement park with her name on it and like also did all that. So
I know my sister with her kids did the the book.
Yeah, the Imagination
The
Series, I
Imagination
think
Book
it's called.
Series book. Just get like a free book every single month. Just free book. That way it didn't matter where you lived, you had access.
Delivered to your door, just right there in the mail, until they turn 5. So you get, which, by the way, as somebody with a 5.5-year-old and a 1-year-old, they do crank, like every month is about right, because they get obsessed with a book. You want to read it every single day. They're just like, oh, the same book, the Happy Yellow Dog, the Happy Yellow Dog. And then all of a sudden it's like, I want the Cuddly Bear book.
Yeah.
And it's just for a month. You're reading that book all the time. And it's a really good way to do it. She obviously is leaving a bunch of different legacies, but that's a really cool one. Talk about legacies.
Yeah.
Carolina Hurricanes have a legacy this year. The Stanley Cup will be in the building. It'll be here in the Durham Bulls Athletic Park. You can come out and get pictures with it from 5:30 to 9 p.m. on the outfield concourse. I can already see the lines that they've set up, like the ropes where you can wait in line to take a picture with the Stanley Cup. It'll be there from 5:30 to 9. The gates will open up at 5:30 here at Durham Bulls Athletic Park. The only time it will not be on the concourse is when it makes its way down onto the field for Jordan Martinook to throw the first pitch. So it'll be down there with Jordan Martinook, and then it'll go back up to the concourse so that the fans in the area can continue to celebrate along with the Carolina Hurricanes that they are Stanley Cup champions. The question that the Athletic asked is, who will be the Stanley Cup champion for the 2030-2031 season? This is an exercise they do every single year. They look, handful of years into the future.
So 5 years from now, basically. 5 seasons.
Who's going to be the most likely best team and who's going to be the most likely worst team? They go from top to bottom. And I'm not going to hold you in suspense. Projecting the 2030-2031 NHL standings, which teams will be competing for the Stanley Cup, the name of the article, and the Carolina Hurricanes came in 8th. They came in 8th.
Okay.
I think there's reason of all the rankings, and we can talk about some, right? Sebastian Aho was the 12th best center on the NHL networks. We'll talk about that later in the show. I think that's justifiable, right? I've done, I think, a pretty good job of being objective on all these off-season rankings and not like working myself into a tizzy just because like you're a homer, right? I think this is low.
Low?
I think it's low for one reason. By every ranking, every poll, every survey, every anonymous poll, the Canes this offseason have had either the top or top 2, top 3 confidence in the front office level. Everybody in hockey right now is very, very confident in what Eric Tolsky and Rod Brindamore and Tom Dundon are doing at the team organization level. And the Canes don't have a bad contract. Jesperi Kotkaniemi is that contract's going to look better and better, even though it did look really bad at one point in time. But with where the cap's going and with where the market's going, it's not the end of the world. They have cap space. They have no bad contracts, and they have the front office with the most confidence in the league. How is that 8th? I don't understand. Like, they have all the opportunity, and you have somebody who you trust more than anyone else to use the opportunity. Granted, there are some players that will be significantly older by then, some that will be retired by then, as much as I think Jordan Staal is bionic and getting better with age. I don't know if he'll be around for the 2030-2031 season. But it's not like they have any anchors. And there are players that are going to be under contract then that are very, very good and will still be in their prime. Some will be in the thick of their prime. It's like, I get it if you want to put, San Jose, like a few of these teams that just have young, like future face of the league guys, and you say, I'd rather have that guy and fill in the rest over the next few years and figure it out. I'm fine with that, but they're behind Florida. They're behind some teams that I look around and I just go, how? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me.
Florida doesn't make sense to me for the simple fact that that team's just going to get really old really fast.
And I think, but unless you're just saying, like, you trust the decision makers that Florida has had, you know what I mean? And if that's the case, how do you not give it to the Canes?
Well, I think it's multifaceted. I think for the fact that, yes, there is confidence, obviously, in the front office for the Carolina Hurricanes, but if you look at their young prospects that would be up at the NHL level at that time, who's that elite level prospect? I think that's the question. It's like, obviously, you know what Stankoven and Jackson Blake, we continue to, or we expect they continue to ascend as players. We don't know if Alexander Nikishin is going to be on the team at 2031. We just simply don't know that. And then also you look at defense, like Jacob Slavin will be getting older. You're talking about mid-30s at that point, approaching late 30s. Keandre Miller will be in his prime. Aho is going to be approaching the mid-30 mark. Like, you expect a natural decline. Seth Jarvis will be around. I'm assuming, I can't remember, I don't think Svechnikov might not even be under contract during that time. Or he might be wrapping up his contract right around that time. So, outside of that, what's the rest of the roster look like? Okay, is Bradley Nadeau going to be on your team? But again, after you get that in your prospect system, who's that elite level prospect that a team like San Jose, with all the high draft picks they've had over the last couple of years, like, where are those guys?
I will give you there's unknown. I would argue, without looking at every single team's roster, like, down to the contracts. I mean, nobody has, like, all four lines figured. Like, no one has all four centers for the 2030-2031 season.
You have projections on guys, though.
I will give you the top 10, just so we know, like, what they're working with. San Jose, number 1.
Makes sense.
Montreal, number 2.
That makes sense.
Utah, number 3. Buffalo, number 4. Toronto, number 5.
Okay, this list sucks.
Anaheim, number 6. That's what I'm saying. Florida, number 7. Carolina, number 8. And I will, like, actually, the first segment the first sentence that they have in their description is exactly my answer to your question, or your, like, who's going to be here, what do they have in the prospect pool. Carolina will always find ways to add talent.
Yeah.
And I think you have to give that benefit of the doubt, right? Tampa's number 9. Minnesota's number 10. Colorado and Dallas are 11 and 12. And I'm not going to read the whole thing. I just think they've been pretty good without a Macklin Celebrini over the last 10 years. So if you want to put San Jose, like I said, I'm not arguing they should be number 1. I'm arguing of everybody that has question marks, and you're going to have to fill them in, and they don't have that like true dude. Carolina should be the best of that group. And by the way, like, you may be saying it's recency bias and it's because they have the Stanley Cup. Yeah, having the Stanley Cup, that's a pretty good trump card.
Yeah, it helps.
Pretty good trump card. And that goes all the way down to every level of competition, right? Like, scoreboard is a pretty darn good argument. So if I'm looking for the Carolina Hurricanes in 2030, 2031, no team is like a guarantee to be a top 5 contender in the NHL. Heck, I'm not even guaranteeing San Jose will with their young studs. I would love to have the opportunity to, be the fantasy GM that gets to put the guys around those guys, because they're going to make me look smart. But there's no guarantee that they won't waste primes and all of that. There's no guarantee the Canes will be there. I just think that front office deserves a lot of, I don't know if credit's the word, a lot of benefit of the doubt that without any anchor contracts, without any real, like, oh, that's going to age horribly contracts, they're going to find a way to pick and pull the right players, right? Because, to use some guys you mentioned, 3 years ago, if we were projecting, or 5 years ago, if we were projecting who would be the best player this past year, we may have gone like, who's in the system? And it would have been, well, they're going to pick Jackson Blake in the 4th. See that coming. They're going to trade for Mikko Rantanen, and it's going to go horribly, and they're going to flip it into first, and it's going to turn into Logan Stankoven. I don't know who in their prospect pool. Obviously, everyone's going to point out, like, Bradley Nadeau and all these guys that we've talked about extensively. I don't know if they're going to turn into anything, but I have a pretty good idea that the Canes will find a way to get value and get some dudes.
We'll see.
How awesome would it be if 5 years from now we're back at Durham Bulls Athletic Park and they're getting ready to bring the cup around again?
Yep.
Jordan Martinook maybe will be still throwing out the first pitch. Maybe it's somebody he has passed the heart and soul kind of mantra, the torch, onto. Maybe it's Seth Jarvis. Who knows? Could be a whole bunch of them. That's actually that's more interesting, right? If we take some roles, who will be the Jordan Martinook 5 years from now? Who will be the Jordan Stahl 5 years from now?
I think
who
that's
will be
the big question.
The Jacob Slavin 5 years from now.
Jacob Slavin.
I think it might be reasonable that 5 years from now he might be on your second pair, maybe at age whatever, mid to late 30s. But it's seeing who's going to fill the roles, not like first line center, right? Like, who's going to be the heart and soul of the Canes 4 or 5 years from now? That's an interesting question. Logan Stankoven might be in there. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We're here at Durham Bulls Athletic Park. The Stanley Cup will be here. Doors open, gates open at 5:30, and there will be pictures on the concourse with the Stanley Cup from 5:30 to 9, and a game featuring the hosting Durham Bulls and the visiting Norfolk Tides at 6:45. First pitch featuring Jordan Martinook, 6:12. So get here early if you want to see Martinook making some throws.
Get your tickets, section 205, the 99.9 The Fan Zone, all the way out left field. $9.99 tickets, folks.
$9.99. You get a baseball game. You get to see Jordan Martinook make a first pitch. You get to see the Stanley Cup. It's a great night for baseball. It's a good day. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, and it's still almost football season. It's preseason football season. So Football at 4 is coming up next. Don't go anywhere.
Rev up your summer at the Make This the Summer event going on now at John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington. Grab summer adventures when you drive home a brand new 2026 Ram 1500 for 20% off. Excludes RHO. See dealer for details. Or expand your options for off-road exploration with a new 2026 Jeep Gladiator. Save 15% off during the Make This the Summer event. Plus, get 2.9% financing for 72 months. So get off your keister and get to John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington today.
Hi friends, this is Mark Pons from Chapel Hill Tire. I get it. You don't wake up excited to schedule car maintenance. Between work, school, family activities, and everything else life throws your way, it can be tough to find the time. That's why I'm excited to share that our University Place and Crabtree locations are open Saturdays from 8 to 5. Now you'll have one more option for taking care of your vehicle. Schedule your Saturday appointment today at chapelhilltire.com and drive happy.
If you have a 2, 3, or 4% mortgage rate, don't refinance it. You don't have to, but you can still get cash out of your home. Introducing Loan Pronto's zero-cost equity loan. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. That's right. With Loan Pronto, you can get all the cash you need without touching your first mortgage and without any fees. One local homeowner just got $100,000, paid off all their credit cards, paid off their existing HELOC, remodeled their kitchen, and saved over $1,500 per month. It gets better. There's no hard credit pull up front, usually no appraisal, no long drawn-out process, and listen, no closing costs. You may be able to even skip your next 2 house payments. Call Loan Pronto now. Leave your low-rate mortgage intact, but get the cash you need in as little as 2 weeks without paying closing costs. LoanPronto.com. See how much you can get right now. Call 919-381-1760. That's 919-381-1760. LoanPronto.com. For qualified homeowners, equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Big truck accidents can cause life-changing injuries, and life-changing injuries deserve life-changing money. I know big truck wrecks, and I know how to fight those big insurance companies. If you've been hurt by a big truck, contact us at ritchielaw.com. I'm on top of it.
Broadcasting live from the Eagle Leasing Storage Studio, WCMC HD1 Holly Springs, 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
Hey, it's the weather. I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Temperature's hot this afternoon. We're looking at upper 80s, but the humidity remains low. Our dew point's down in the 50s, so it should feel more comfortable than it did last week. Mid-60s tonight, so it feels good again, but we'll see a high 90 tomorrow and a small chance for thunderstorms.
4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones up 168 points today to 53,585. This hour of The Drive is brought to you by All-Star Dog Training. You've seen their dogs featured in college and professional sports. They can train your dog too. Visit allstardogtraining.com and schedule your free evaluation today.
Let's move the chains. Time for Football at 4.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. You may say, hey, you sound a little different. There's general baseball sounds in the background. That's a great ear on your part. We're here at Durham Bulls Athletic Park, where the Durham Bulls are scheduled to play the Norfolk Tides at 6:45. And that's only part of the attraction today. That's a great attraction, by the way. Come out, check out a Durham Bulls game. It's a great place for the kids.
Gorgeous day, too.
Especially on Tuesdays, 99.9 The Fan Zone, $9.99 tickets. There are some very, very big-time prospects being called up to AAA in the next couple of days. They were actually called up yesterday. I'm not sure if they'll be playing today. But I think it's 12 more home games for the Durham Bulls. So there's opportunities to catch the future of the Tampa Bay Rays right here in Durham. But again, that's only part of the attraction today. The other part of the attraction is the Stanley Cup will be in attendance. Stanley Cup's going to be right over there. If you're watching on YouTube, I am pointing to it in the outfield concourse. The Stanley Cup will be brought out 5:30 to 9 p.m. There will be pictures. There will be opportunities for everybody to, celebrate with the Canes their Stanley Cup championship. Gates open at 5:30 if you're coming out to check out the game. With that being said, it is Football at 4 time. Football at 4 is brought to you by John Heister, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, and Lillington. Get off your keister and come to Heister. All right. We've all been in this situation. I'm going to describe a situation, and just so you know how I felt earlier today. We've all been in a situation where somebody makes a claim.
Okay.
And you go like, okay, you're going to have to show me this one.
Explain yourself.
All right.
Explain.
Yeah. Get to talking. And then they have like all of their T's crossed and I's dotted. And, and you're just like, all right. Yeah, no, you got it. Very good. Accepted. Moving on. I had that earlier today.
Mm-hmm.
So I go on ESPN.com, and it's about the Carolina Panthers, so we'll land this plane. I go on ESPN.com, and I actually just learned like a year ago that ESPN.com is custom.
It is.
Like I used to think like the headline that I got was the headline that everybody got. That's not the case anymore. That's how it used to be. So they thought I would love an article that said basically 5 NFL teams that could decline this season, like regression candidates. And I went, all right. Clicked on it, and one of the 5 teams, because at the top of it said like jump to any team, and they had the 4 links or 5 links. One of them was Carolina, and I went, you're gonna have to show me this, Bill Barnwell. You better have some really good stats and arguments to back everything up. It was a longer article than I expected, and after reading about like 10 paragraphs, I was like, well done, Bill.
Yeah.
All right, I guess I'll see myself out of this one. Let me hit you with some of the stats.
All right.
Last season's Carolina team, which went 8-9 and made the postseason, won the division, is only the 10th playoff team in a non-strike season in league history to win just 1 game by 9 points or more all year. The NFL has been around a long time. There have been some bad teams that have made the postseason. They only won a single game by 9 points or more. They're one of just 10 in the history of the league to do that and make the playoffs.
Week 3 against Atlanta at home, they won 30-0.
And it was a great 30-0.
It was.
But every stat just kind of made it seem more and more like perhaps last year was a bit of a fluke.
Yeah.
And you just that's one where you're like, oh, that's weird, huh? One of only 10. Oh, that could just be a coincidence, Bill. What else you got for me? They only had 2 victories over teams with winning records, Rams and Packers. And they ended up losing to the Rams in the postseason. Panthers were 6-2 in 1-score games. If you do know anything about the NFL, 1-score games are traditionally a coin flip. And if you win an absurd amount of 1-score games, unless you have like a Hall of Fame quarterback who's just good at executing those types of things, you tend to regress to the mean the following year and in years to go. FPI, meaning Football Power Index, which is now algorithm analytic, the Panthers were the 25th best team on a snap-to-snap basis of the regular season, which was actually the worst in their division. DVOA, another advanced analytic, they were 25th in the league, ahead of only the Saints. 8-9 is seen as a positive for the Panthers because they made the postseason on a tiebreaker. 8-9 was enough for the Bucs to fire a whole bunch of their assistant coaches.
Yep.
And 8-9 was the exact record that got Raheem Morris fired from being the head coach of the Falcons. Yet the Panthers positive, those negative in vibes. He goes on to list all of the injuries. I'm not going to read all of them for you. My point is, it really put a buzzkill on a lot of the things I was excited about for the Panthers. And it was really well, and those are just some of it. You can go, like I said, it's a longer article than you think. You can go check out the full thing. But I left going, fine, Bill. Like, you can continue putting that in your headline, like, and just moving on, like you do when you realize I went into that article aggressive and angry, and he was better prepared for it. It's a bummer for the Panthers that they are, according to Bill Barnwell and ESPN.com, one of the 5 teams due for a regression when 8 and 9, if you regress too far, you end up in really, really sad territory. With that being said, it is a complete opposite of what our friend Max Gorin said yesterday.
Oh, yes. Band running the boards today.
Max Gorin back at the studio. And I said we were going to do this, Max. I hope you prepared. The Carolina Panthers, according to Bill Barnwell, are due for a regression. According to you yesterday on the show, pre-bye, they have a bye in week 5. They will be 3-1 on their way to an 11-6 season. I would like, right now, I will take you through each game. You tell me which ones are wins and which ones are losses in order to get to 11 wins. Are you game, Max?
I am game. I do want to preface by saying when I said 11-6, I didn't go game by game and say that. I just predict that they're going to continue to progress. But we can go game by game.
No, we're going to have to go game by game now, Max.
Chicago opener in Chicago.
No, it's in Carolina.
It's in Carolina.
Oh, sorry, you're right. It's versus Carolina. You're right.
Yes.
Sorry. I was looking at the wrong thing. Let me say that again. Chicago in Carolina opener. Win or loss?
I'll say this one's the loss because it's this one and the Lions one. I think they're going to split.
At Atlanta, week 2.
Win.
All right. We have at Cleveland, week 3.
Win.
We have versus Detroit, week 4.
First Sunday night football game in a long time at Bank of America Stadium. I think they're going to win.
That's okay. Bye week. Week 6
win.
At
Bye
Philadelphia.
week is a win. That's a win. Don't forget that one.
Then it's 12-6.
Yeah.
At Philadelphia.
That's a loss.
All right. Versus Tampa.
Win.
So that's home versus Tampa. At Green Bay.
Probably a loss.
We have versus Denver.
Denver was
home
one of the
versus
other
Denver.
regression candidates listed by Bill Barnwell. I'm going to say that's going to
True.
surprise some people, and they're going to get the win.
Oh, it's my wedding weekend. Nice.
Oh, all right. Happy wedding. At New Orleans, week 10.
They're going to break the curse of the Saints this year and sweep them. That's a win.
Okay.
Versus Baltimore at home, week 11.
We'll call that one a loss.
All right. You have, just to keep you updated, 4 losses. We are in week 12. At Tampa Bay on Monday night, week 12.
Oh, I didn't even know that one was a Monday night game. I went into this thinking it's probably split with the Bucs this year, so we'll call that one a loss.
All right. You have one more loss to play with.
I think I already know where it's coming to.
Week 13. At Minnesota, week 13.
Win.
And forget you, Kyler Murray. Versus New Orleans, week 14.
At home against this, I mean, it felt maybe a stretch on the road, but they're winning at home against the Saints. That's a win.
We are now near Christmas time. Week 15, December 20th, at home versus the Bengals.
Versus, I bet Joe Burrow's probably not even playing that game, so that's a win.
All right, week 16, it is a flex game, so we don't know when. We don't know any of the times, but we do know it's at Pittsburgh.
Rico Dowdle's going to do his best, but even Steelers fan Dennis Cox said the Panthers are winning this game, so I'd say they win against Pittsburgh.
Yeah, they are.
Week 17 at home versus the defending Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawks.
There's your loss number 6 right there.
And then week 18, they beat Atlanta, I assume, is what you're rolling with?
Yes, the Bryce Young-owned Atlanta Falcons will lose in Charlotte in week 18.
So they start off winning 3 of 4, and they finish winning 5 of 6.
Got to get to 11 wins somehow.
They don't, actually.
If you want to knock it down to 10-7, say that they lose to either the Bengals or the Broncos.
I'm not saying anything. I just want it on record. And by the way, if this happens, if they win 11 games, I will give you like minutes, maybe hours on the show to just gloat, because 11 feels like you're setting yourself up for some disappointment.
It's definitely optimistic.
I respect that. I respect that you when pressed, stuck to your guns and found games that they could win, even ones that I don't think they will be nearly favored in. 11-6, according to max. So not only are they not going to regress for all of those reasons Bill Barnwell said, they are going to win 3 more games for the, third straight year.
Yeah.
Just keep on that path forever and ever. Pretty soon they're going to be winning like 28 games in a 17-game schedule.
The 3 games a year additional every year. I mean, I have faith in the process and what Dan Morgan and Dave Canales have done after taking over pretty much a dumpster fire that was left behind by the previous regime. I think maybe we've been conditioned by all the Matt Rule and the Scott Fitterer of it all to maybe not be that optimistic and not that hopeful for what they can do, but I think they've shown a lot of good signs of progress. A lot of this does rest on the shoulders on Bryce Young continuing to make a step, so I'm kind of banking on that potential, but I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility for them to get double-digit wins this year.
I think what may be happening here is you are actually so conditioned by those previous eras that you don't realize that going from 2 wins to 8 wins could be just clearing out the mess that was there. And now going from 8 to 9 to 10 to 11 and beyond is the actual inching forward that happens, right? You can just getting back to neutral brought them from 2 wins to 8 wins in 2 years by clearing out what Matt Rule and Frank Reich had left behind. It's going from 8 to 11 wins is there's 2 or 3 levels of contender, and that's ignoring all the reasons why they might drop a level of contender.
Yeah, I mean, look,
Either way.
There's definitely bias and optimism involved, but I think at the very least they're going to have
biases on Front Street.
At the very least, they're going to have the same amount of wins, if not more, this season.
All right, you heard it from Max Gorin. If he gets it right, he can gloat all he wants. If he gets it wrong, I'm going to laugh at him. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, in good spirits. It's a lot of wins. 11. I hope he's right. I hope 12 is right. Don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah.
You root for what you root for, but you predict. I think what you think is going to happen, and my numbers that I root for and what I predict will not be close.
I think this is an offense that was 27th in the NFL scoring last season, that was below, which was below 20 points per game.
If you believe in analytics, it was one of the 25 to 30 teams, and that's how the numbers say they played. Obviously, they made the playoffs, so if you're just, hey, did you make the playoffs? If that's how you judge a team, they were good last year. But if you judge them on advanced analytics of any kind, they're between 25 and 30.
But again, 27th in the NFL in scoring last season, and the only really change you made offensively was you switched your play caller. I know you anticipate that Tedero McMillan's going to continue to grow. Jalen Coker. I'm sorry?
Both tackles, perhaps.
Well, yes, but again, looking from a skilled position standpoint, you're looking at, again, growth from Tedero McMillan. You want a full season of Jalen Coker if he's healthy. Jonathan Brooks is a little bit of a wild card, but again, these are all pieces that were still there at the end of the season.
Yep.
When you lost 3 of your last 4 games in the regular season. Again, let's not forget that. They lost 3 of their last 4 games of the regular season.
And that's why we were watching whatever it was.
We were watching Tampa and I'm sorry, we were watching
Falcons Saints.
Yeah, Falcons Saints. That they're going let's go Atlanta. let's all book flights on Delta. Whatever it is we got to do in order for the Falcons to win. So you look at that. I just don't see the offense all of a sudden getting to 15th in the NFL in scoring. I just don't see that.
I think the argument would be the defense is going to be not needing 15th in scoring because you added Jalen Phillips and Devin Lloyd. I don't agree.
It's a lot of stress on your defense.
I will lock in, and Dennis will lock in his predictions for the season as we get closer to the season. We'll do some of our college football stuff this week. But 11-6, I'm pretty confident I won't be there. That is Football at 4, brought to you by John Heister, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington. Get off your keister and come to Heister. Before we move on, we have Copper Drop coming up. Dennis, you have something you want to tell the people?
I do. Dennis Cox here real quick. My friends over at Law Tigers. We talk about, again, predictions. There's a lot of unpredictability, right? We talk about making picks on a sports season. But I will say this, though, that when you're out there on the road as a motorcycle rider, there are a lot more variables that go into you as a motorcycle rider as opposed to driving in a car. Obviously, you have to worry so much more about your surroundings as a motorcycle rider. And if you're ever involved in a motorcycle accident, the one thing that you can 100% trust is Law Tigers. Give them a call, 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, or visit lawtigers.com if you're injured in a motorcycle accident where you are not at fault. Because here's the reason why. 1, Law Tigers, they're there to fight for you. They're part of the motorcycle riding community. They understand what your bike is worth. They know what your gear is worth. But also they understand the risks of the road. But second of all, your case evaluation with Law Tigers, it's always free. You don't pay a dime until your case settles, whereas insurance companies, they want to give you the least amount possible. Law Tigers, they're there to fight for you. So if you're injured in a motorcycle accident, give them a call, 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, or visit lawtigers.com. 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We'll be back with a game of Copper Drop from here at Durham Bulls Athletic Park next.
College football kicks off August 29th.
Bailey eludes it, runs to the right, has Green, no one there at the 10, and he scampers in. Bailey, touchdown, Packs on top.
On 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
It's over. Yeah, the Blue Devils have won the ACC. 27-20 in overtime.
Presented by Chapel Hill Tire, Roofworks, and Wake Med.
Gotta love it.
Is your heating and air system ready for the warmer weather? Call Newcomb & Company to ensure your system is running at peak performance. As a Comfort Contract customer, you'll get priority service and a 15% discount on all HVAC and plumbing service calls and repairs. Newcomb & Company, your Carrier factory authorized dealer, has proudly served our community for more than 70 years, delivering reliable comfort and peace of mind. Call 919-862-3000 or visit newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company, your comfort is our business.
I'm Galen, co-founder of Brooklyn SolarWorks. With my Chase Inc. Business Premier Card, I get unlimited 2.5% cash back on purchases of $5,000 or more. So everything we buy to run our solar business gives us cash back that we put back into the neighborhood, donating solar panels to community gardens.
Chase Inc. Cash back built for every business. Find the right card at chase.com/inc. Real business owner compensated for their participation. Cards issued by JPMorgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC, subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
Meinake's highly skilled and certified technicians always treat your car like it's their own. With over 50 years of experience, Meineke will diagnose and fix any issue with precision and care using the best state-of-the-art equipment. You can always depend on Meineke to do the job right and get you back on the road in no time. Save time and schedule an appointment now. Visit Meineke.com today. Trust your key with Meineke. Meineke, doing car care right.
I just don't want to interrupt Dolly Parton coming out of break. I have to, but I don't want to. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Dolly Parton, news being passed around, reported today. Statement from her family and her representation. Passed away at the age of 80 earlier today. She is, I think everybody knows, like Jolene 9 to 5.
Yeah.
If you have some time, just throw on like a greatest hits. There's a lot of songs that you're like, oh, I do know this one. Oh, I do know this one. Oh, I do know this one. She cranked out some hits over the years, to say the very least. So we'll continue playing them coming out of break, I'm sure. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We're here at Durham Bulls Athletic Park. There's a Durham Bulls game coming up tonight. There will be the Norfolk Tides in town as the visiting team. They're warming up right behind us. The Stanley Cup will be in the stadium. Athletic Park here tonight, and it'll be in the outfield concourse for pictures with fans that want to come and celebrate the Kane Stanley Cup along with them. Jordan Martinook will be throwing the first pitch, so come and check out. It's a great day for baseball, a great day to celebrate a hockey championship, and it's a great day to get ready for some football, and it's a great day for a Copper Drop. Let's go ahead and fire it up.
You want true enlightenment? Well, I'm dropping.
All right, Tim, first one here. We just talked about the Carolina Panthers, right? Football 4. We talked about Carolina Panthers, and Max gave his predictions for this upcoming season, including a Week 3 win on the road at Cleveland. Now, we did hear the Cleveland Browns, our head coach Todd Monken, who said that Deshaun Watson is going to be the Week 1 starter.
Correct.
Cop or drop, Deshaun Watson is still the starter come Week 3 when they play the Carolina Panthers. Cop or drop.
Barring injury, he'll be the quarterback Week 3.
You think so?
So last year, they had a decision to make. They had a young player by the name of Shedeur Sanders. They had a young player by the name of Dylan Gabriel. And they had a 30-something starter that had success years before in Joe Flacco. They went with Joe Flacco. He lasted 4 games before they started making moves. I think he'll last 4. I think that's their MO.
Even though a different coach?
I think different coaches like to be right, so they like to give their guys as much chance. I think the ownership is the one that's going to come down at some point and say, I think that's what happened last year because Flacco wasn't playing bad, and Flacco went over to the Bengals and played okay. I think eventually ownership's going to go, why are you playing the old guys? Go ahead and give me the young guys. And yeah, about week 4 or 5 is when I'd expect it. So week 3, they'll be on the debate shows. They'll be asking if this is the last game Deshaun Watson's going to start against the Panthers. And maybe based on how he plays against the Panthers is how early he gets the boot or not.
See, I think this is my theory here, right?
Yep.
So
reading the tea leaves.
They're going to start. Monken's going to have Deshaun Watson start because Cleveland's first 2 games are on the road. And he's going to absolutely
that the Panthers
suck.
are the soft landing spot?
Well, here's the thing. Deshaun Watson starts on the road, sucks for 2 weeks,
Gotcha.
right? Hey, I gave him a shot. I come home to the home crowd. Hey, Shedeur's our guy going forward the rest of the season. And he wins the crowd. He wins the crowd, Tim. Like Gladiator. Win the crowd. Win your freedom.
It'll be in the pregame. Does Shedeur Sanders keep the crowd on his side once the game starts?
Well,
is a completely different question. The funny part is they both mishandled the media in different ways. Deshaun Watson screaming about the booing and whatever that was. Terrible decision. Shedeur Sanders gave a 7-minute sideline interview to Aditi Kinkabwala. I apologize if I mispronounced that. She works up there she used to work up there in D.C. It's a roller coaster. He was supposed to be the captain for the preseason game. He didn't go out for the pregame. The coach saw him like, what the heck? And he said, I thought I was just being situationally aware. Like it was a really, really strange. They asked what he did during the it was. My point is, I don't know if either of them are going to win the fans over for him.
Yeah.
Cleveland's in a weird spot.
All right. Anyway, I just tie that into Carolina Panthers week 3. I will go ahead and
By the way,
that
2 of their first 3 opponents, like if you count the Cleveland Browns still as a quarterback controversy, because even though they named a starter, it's controversial. 2 of their first 3 have quarterback controversies because Atlanta won't even speculate on who's going to be between Tua and Michael Penix Jr. And who knows, maybe Jack Strand's going to throw his name in there.
You never know.
He had a good day in the preseason.
All right, speaking of quarterbacks, let's actually switch focus over to college football, Tim. Carolina plays in Dublin this Saturday against TCU. Gus Edwards, the starting quarterback.
Say this again?
Not Gus Edwards.
Billy Edwards Jr.
Billy Edwards Jr.
Gus Edwards is the old Ravens running back.
Yes, old Ravens. Yes, sorry.
Billy Edwards Jr.
Billy Edwards Jr.
from
is the
Wisconsin.
starting quarterback. My apologies for that. Billy Edwards Jr. is the starting quarterback. Copper drop. We see more than one quarterback play for Carolina this weekend. Copper drop.
Not this weekend. So I'm dropping for this weekend. I do think they've moved in the right direction. Like starting the veteran, which by the way, Walker Eget from Duke being named the starter, Billy Edwards Jr. from UNC being named the starter, both went with the veteran over the young whippersnappers. That is the less friction way to set up a quarterback change in the future if you need it. It's much easier to go old to young than it is to go young to old in college, right? So you can keep like. In UNC's standpoint, you can keep the younger guys, the Miles O'Neills, the Travis Burgesses. You can keep them engaged, saying, "When this is just 1 year with Billy Edwards Jr., right? You guys are next. Stay into it. Stay ready. Prepare like you're a starter. And then if you need to go to him, you're there." The moment you start like a sophomore over a senior, the moment you start a redshirt freshman over a redshirt senior, a lot of times those older guys, as much as they try not to, they'll check out. They'll get mad. They'll. I'm not going to watch all the extra film. It's my last year of college, right? Like, I'm not even playing. You don't want to do that, but it happens. So I wouldn't be surprised if they play 2. I'd be very surprised if they play 2 in week 1, barring injury. Again, if someone gets hurt, that changes everything. But they're going to want to give him more of a look than just one game in Dublin.
All right. Next one, cop or drop. Like you mentioned, Walter Eget's the starting quarterback at Duke. Cop or drop. Dan Mahan starts a game this season. At least one for Duke this season. Cop or drop.
Barring injury, which I keep saying, I think Eget starts the distance.
Okay.
I think the reason you go to Eget is because you want, I don't want to say less exciting. You want the more stable, steady, maybe higher floor. And I think that is what he is. Like, if you go back and watch him at San Jose State, I'm not saying he doesn't have any abilities. Like, he's not out there just hiding completely. But he's relatively safe. And if you're playing that guy because of that skill set, I think he can deliver that. And as long as he's delivering that, just protecting the football, not taking bad sacks, being situationally aware, knowing the down and distance, being a good traffic cop, handing the ball to Nate Shepard a bunch of times, I think he won't give you a reason to bench him. And if the rest of Duke is good enough that you don't need to put in somebody maybe with a higher ceiling, maybe a little bit more athletic, maybe a little bit stronger arm, whatever, I think you roll with Eget, and he doesn't give you a reason to change that.
All right, next one here, cop or drop. Since we're here at Durham Bulls Athletic Park, the Stanley Cup is going to be here. 5 weeks from today, the banner goes up. Sheesh. 5 weeks today for the banner goes up, and then actually less than 4 weeks from today, we have preseason games. So essentially 3 weeks from today, Tim. 3 weeks from today, training camp for the Carolina Hurricanes. 3 weeks today, basically. Carolina Hurricanes training camp begins. Cop or drop. Alexander Nikishin will have a contract with the Carolina Hurricanes when training camp starts. Cop or drop.
You're not making me pick anything about the contract, just will he have
one?
Well,
he has a contract.
I'm copping. Deadlines get deals done. And also, if I were the GM of the Carolina Hurricanes, and I am not, but if I were, there's not you're not juggling, you don't have a lot of balls in the air, right? You don't have a lot of things on your to-do list this offseason. There are the things that every GM has, right? Evaluating everybody in your system and the draft and all of those things, but they didn't have a lot of big ticket negotiations. So I imagine they've just been sitting around running like darn near like high school mock trials, right? Where it's like, all right, this time you play the agent and let's go through this. Like they know this many years, here's how far we'll go. If they push us, we'll go this far. Like, I imagine once the deadline gets closer, they'll be so unbelievably prepared and ready that they'll get a deal done. I'll be appreciative on this lovely baseball day. Thank you for not making me predict what kind of deal it'll be.
Just say contract.
Because if it's a bridge deal or a long-term deal, or what's the money? Is it truly jaw-dropping money? How does he rank on the rest of the young players on the Canes? I don't know any of that. And I don't even know where I would start with a prediction on that. I think I've predicted at different times this offseason that he's going to get like 8 years, $8 million, and 2 years, $4 million, and 3 years, $6 million. And at this point, I'm right no matter what, because it's dragged on long enough that I've predicted every different kind of. He's going to be traded to this team for this guy. He's going to be traded to this team for that guy. I've predicted everything. So I should probably retire from the Alexander Nikishin prediction market because I've done it all. There's nothing left to do.
All right, next one here, cop or drop. We'll keep this one Canes related. Again, 5 weeks from today for the Carolina Hurricanes. They raised the banner. Cop or drop. On that opening night, Bradley Nadeau will be in uniform for the Carolina Hurricanes. Cop or drop.
Yeah, I'm copping. And by the way, 1 hour from now, they open up gates here at Durham Bulls Athletic Park.
Right.
And the Stanley Cup will be out there in the outfield concourse. Yeah, I'm copping. I think he's the best bet to get the first swing at Seth Jarvis's roster spot on opening day. He's got to be a little impatient, and I think he's going to show up this training camp on I'm going to make him put me in this opening day lineup kind of vibe. I keep referencing this. When Jackson Blake, not this year, the previous year, made the opening day roster, it very much felt like it came down to Jackson Blake or Bradley Nadeau for that opening day roster spot. And I don't know if internally that's what it was, but it felt like that. It felt like they had a spot on the opening day roster for a rookie. And it was going to be, maybe even Felix Unger-Sorm was in that mix. I forget how it was framed. Imagine Bradley Nadeau thinking I've got a chance at it. Jackson Blake beats you out. He's a little bit older, a little bit more physically developed, whatever. And then you have to watch all the success and the contract and the Stanley Cup and the postseason run he had and everything else. And you're like, that could have been me. I don't think he's going to let another opportunity to be in an opening day lineup go by without, if you're going to beat him out for that spot, you're going to have to pry it from his death grip, kung fu grip, elephant grip fingers that he has on that forward spot. I think Bradley Nadeau's going to show up ready to play.
All right, let's actually go back to ACC football here real quick. Let's make this a final cop or drop here for you.
Let's do it.
Cop or drop. Since we're here in Durham, Duke won the ACC last year.
True.
Cop or drop. Duke finishes in the top 5 of the ACC this upcoming season. Cop or drop. Top 5.
Top 5 is tough for me. I was hoping you would have went top half, and I would have said Cop.
Oh, that'd be too easy.
I don't think they're predicted like. If you're looking at sports books and things, I don't believe they're in the top half. I think they outperformed those expectations. Can I just? I'll say the obvious, even though it stinks. Darian Mensah and Cooper Barkett were really good.
They were fantastic,
and they planned this year around having both of those guys in Durham, and like to the point where they had it in writing. Like this wasn't a handshake deal. This was we're going to pay you millions of dollars to stick around, and it didn't happen. And unfortunately, that's going to make this season a bit more of a unknown, bit more of a slog for Duke. Not to mention, Chandler Rivers isn't walking through that door.
No.
Brian Parker II is not walking through that door. Wesley Williams, Vincent Anthony Jr. Like they had Aaron Hall. They had some guys that Quayshawn Brown, right, who's playing for Virginia Tech.
Like Samir Hagens as well.
Samir Hagens out there with the Niners, is it?
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of guys they had to replace. So they were very good last year. They upended some prediction or some expectations. I think they will exceed expectations from the national media. Top 5 is going to be tough for me. I don't know if I see that happening.
All right,
even last year they were like a 5-way tie for second.
Yeah.
Or you could argue they were top 7, and they won the ACC championship. Strange season we lived last year. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. The number one way that they can exceed those expectations, though, is if Walker Eget gives you some form of replacing Darian Mensah's ability. And I don't know if that has to be necessarily the big dynamic star future pro Darian Mensah ability. If you can, and we talked with Darian Mensah about this at ACC kickoff when he was representing Miami. If you can eliminate some of those kind of back-breaking turnovers earlier in the year that Darian Mensah had, then maybe you don't have to bring the top-level wow accuracy and all of that if you just eliminate some of the lower stuff that he suffered from, particularly earlier in the year. So Walker Eget, he was named the starter, right? It's now his deal. I believe they have 9 games to really figure it out and build their offense around him and figure out what he does well. And he has 9 games to wrap around the fact that he is a starter in the ACC, in a power conference, and that is as worthwhile as anything, right? The fact that he is showing up from San Jose State, probably when he was playing at San Jose State was saying to himself, I'm good enough to be those guys when he's watching College Game Day or he's watching a ABC ACC game, and now he gets to prove it. So he's got 9 days to wrap his head around that as well. Those are my thoughts on Walker Eget being named the starter for Duke. Let's get Manny Diaz, the head coach of Duke's, thoughts on Walker Eget being named the starter for Duke. Here's Manny Diaz on naming Eget the starting QB.
It was a good decision because it was a hard decision. So we're really pleased at how both quarterbacks developed. I think Dan has made really massive strides with all the reps he got in spring when Walker was limited, and then just through the competition that we had in training camp. I think the team believes that we can win with both guys. Both guys have a different set of skill sets that we could, frame our offense around. But when it all came down to it, it was just about consistency, which is normally just what you expect from an older guy, of keeping the same level day after day. And so I think we were at that moment. I think the team, just given our offseason, I think the team needed a starting quarterback. And like I said, they'll follow both, but I think they're happy now that they know that Walker is the number one.
I really like that last part where he basically said, it's just time. They need to know their starting quarterback.
Yeah.
We need to know who we're rallying around here. It's for those of you that it's Lorne Michaels, Saturday Night Live, the creator of. He has a super famous line that says, we don't go on air because we're ready. We go on air because it's 11:30. Like you don't necessarily have to name the starter because, somebody grabbed the job and made it obvious. Sometimes you name the starter because we got a game in 9 days and we need to know the starter.
So just got to know.
So you take the preponderance of evidence and you go with it. Manny Diaz talked about the improvement he's seen from Eget during training camp, and this is what he had to say.
I think competition makes everybody better. It keeps people uncomfortable, which is where all growth occurs. And, and then it was also just Walker's really first time getting real reps in this offense was, we've really only practiced 15 times in training camp. It's crazy as that feels. So, it would just stand to reason that he would improve as he gets more familiarity, not just with the offensive scheme, but also with the players around him. Remember much of our passing offense wasn't even on campus in March and April. So I think getting all those guys into the summer, it just makes sense that we've seen an improvement. Both quarterbacks have over the last 3 weeks.
Iron sharpens iron. Every coach loves to say it. Listen, I think quarterback is a different beast. The competitions are different, right? The reason why I say that is you can't quarterback harder, right? Like if you're a linebacker, you can run harder, you can run faster, you can hit harder, you can tackle more aggressively. If you're a running back, you can strain for extra yards. You don't want your quarterback doing that, right? Like you want your quarterback staying extra calm. You want your quarterback making extra good decisions. You don't want them striving for a big play. You have to let the big play come to you, right? You don't want someone thinking, if you're Dan Mahan, Walker Eget threw a deep touchdown in 7-on-7. Now in my next 4 reps of 7-on-7, I have to throw a deep touchdown. Like with a running back, you kind of do want that, right? Like, he broke 2 tackles and ran for a touchdown. All right, next time up, nobody's bringing me down. I'm going to run harder and not let anybody tackle me. Meanwhile, you can't have that with a quarterback, right? If a quarterback goes out there and throws a long touchdown, the next guy comes up and hits 5 consecutive checkdowns, they both might have made the right decision on every single play. So I do think quarterback is a little different. I think you do need to name it earlier. You do, like, as early as you can. 9 days is probably like the smallest amount I'd feel comfortable with. Anything less than that, I just think you're asking for trouble. Other positions, I think you can take it all the way up to like week 4. Like you can, you're going to start, but he's going to get the first 3rd down, and we're going to alternate from there or whatever it is. You can do that at other positions, not at quarterback. So I think it's big for Duke that they named their starter. Speaking of competition, I love the news out of the PGA Tour. Some news today, and the commissioner, it's being passed around everywhere in the golf world, is that the Tour Championship, which is going on this weekend as a 30-person stroke play event, like a normal tournament with 30 golfers, starting in 2028, it's going to finish in match play.
Oh, nice.
Iron sharpens iron. You're going to go out there mano a mano after they do some limiting. It's going to be kind of run like a U.S. Amateur for the real golf nerds out there. You're going to start with 90 people that make the Tour Championship. They'll play a stroke play event to find the 32 top. From the 32, over 2 weekends, they'll play 8 rounds, and it'll be all match play. And if you make it through the first 4 days on points, you make it into the 16, and then it's undefeated is the winner, right? Then you got 4 matches potentially, and if you win them all, you are the champion. I think this is the best way to find a winner. I think Manny Diaz would like it, right? Competition makes everybody better.
Yeah.
I think there's a competitiveness that is brought out of I have to beat you, not I have to beat 30 people or I have to beat 70 people.
Or I got to beat the course.
or I have to beat the course. Or even like for a lot of these guys, it's, finishing in the top 10 at the Tour Championship would be life-changing for me. So I'm just going to make sure I'm in the top 10. In match play, it's not that. It's you're playing one guy. You're trying to beat that guy. It doesn't matter if it's Scotty Scheffler. Doesn't matter if it's your best friend. Doesn't matter if it's somebody you went to college with. You have to beat that guy. And I'm very much looking forward to how they sell this media-wise, how they showcase it. The 2028 PGA Tour season, or the season that ends in 2028, I believe, there's going to be a bunch of changes to the PGA Tour, and it is going to be great. There's promotion, there's relegation, there's match play to make it finish. There's a ton of cool stuff coming to golf. Buckle up, everybody, if you're a golf nerd like I am. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, and it probably is going to become something very, very interesting to trade on markets like Kalshi. specifically America's #1 prediction market platform, Kalshi and the Kalshi app. Tim Donnelly here for Kalshi. Not only is that in the near to moderate future, college football is back in the extremely near future. And so are the predictions. Who makes the playoffs? Who wins the conference? Who wins each game? On Kalshi, America's #1 prediction market platform, you can trade those predictions and more in a live market. Right now, if you look online, North Carolina is trading at 26% to beat TCU, which means if you were to bet or if you were to place a $100 trade, the payout, let me make sure I get this correct. I was about to give you the TCU payout. No, if you trade on UNC, a $100 trade would pay out $365 if UNC can upset TCU in Dublin. And as a reminder, as always, on Kalshi, you're trading against peers in a live market, so you might not even have to see the end of the game to have a payout, right? You can trade in or out of your position at any time as the probability changes, meaning there's no house. That's where the live market thing comes in. So trade the draft pick, the game, and more on Kalshi. And if you download the Kalshi app now, listen up, download the Kalshi app now, use code TIMD, T-I-M-D, you can get $20 when you trade $20. Kalshi, Kalshi, trade on anything. 18 plus only. Restrictions and eligibility requirements apply. Event contract trading involves risk, may not be suitable for all investors. Kalshi products are not available in all jurisdictions. Prices, values, and available markets may differ from those mentioned. For more information, see Kalshi.com/regulatory. Gambling problem, call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. When we come back here on The Drive, will fifth-year eligibility players be allowed to return to college after playing in the NFL? Yes, no, maybe. Stick around.
Hey, Carolina Panthers fans, it's Dennis Cox from 99.9 The Fan. For all the inside information on your team, join me and my co-host, WRL TV's Chris Lee, for our podcast, Panthers Playbook, presented by Wake Orthopedics. In every episode, we'll keep you up to date on your Panthers, and we'll do it with access only we can provide. Locker room insight, exclusive interviews, and in-depth looks from training camp as the regular season approaches. Follow and subscribe to Panthers Playbook wherever you discover your favorite podcasts or watch on YouTube.
McDonald's is putting value back on the menu. Whether you're craving a Big Mac, McNuggets, or sausage, egg, and cheese McGriddles, make it a meal and save. Your favorite is now your wallet's favorite too. Extra value meals are back.
Now, save on what you crave. Get a 10-piece chicken McNuggets, medium fries, and medium Coke for just $8. That's one unbeatable deal. Limited time only. Prices and participation may vary.
Here's the deal. The government is over $38 trillion in debt, which means the IRS isn't slowing down. And the tax code is complex and unforgiving. So it's not surprising if you're one of the millions of Americans that owe back taxes to the IRS. Unfortunately, they're the world's most powerful collection agency, with the ability to garnish your wages, seize your bank accounts, and even take your home or business. But don't be stressed or worried any longer. We're Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm. We have resolved over $3 billion in tax debt for our clients. Our award-winning professionals deal with the IRS every single day, protecting our clients and preparing them for the best possible resolution. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, give Optima a call today.
Call 800-746-0155. That's 800-746-0155. 800-746-0155.
Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
This hour of The Drive is brought to you by All-Star Dog Training. You've seen their dogs featured in college and professional sports. They can train your dog, too. Visit allstardogtraining.com and schedule your free evaluation today.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. More Dolly Parton as we continue to celebrate Dolly's life, as news broke earlier today that she has passed away at the age of 80. The legendary country singer and really pop music icon, Dolly Parton. You know what Dolly Parton probably would have loved, because we've seen her her fashion choices being very glittery. Probably would have loved the Stanley Cup. Wouldn't be surprised if they interacted at some point. But the Stanley Cup will be here at Durham Bulls Athletic Park. About 45 minutes is when we are expecting it to be set up on the concourse here at Durham Bulls Athletic Park for pictures with fans. There is a Durham Bulls game obviously coming up, 6:45 expected beginning on that one. 6:12, Jordan Martinook of the Carolina Hurricanes is expected to be throwing out the first pitch. So there is a ton of highlight-worthy sports events going on within a couple hundred yards of where we sit right now here at Durham Bulls Athletic Park. Whether it is, like I said, the Stanley Cup pictures with Stanley Cup or Carolina Hurricanes fans, or the baseball going on right behind us. In the meantime, there is, this is a saga at this point. It was a situation. It's graduated to a saga. And at a certain point, it's going to become an epic because it just keeps getting longer and longer and dragging on and dragging on. For those of you that have seen The Odyssey, it's a long movie, right? It could be an Odyssey at some point. The 2022 high school class going into college sports went into college expecting to have 4 years of eligibility. Many of them, in their 4 seasons, played 4 years of college sports. And then they changed the rules. I want to be clear, after this group exhausted their eligibility, college sports changed the rules to you now get 5 years to play 5 years of college sports. Apparently, that is like the biggest transgression in the history of the world because those players said, no, not today. You're not changing the rules after I leave. That is not fair, and they've gotten the courts involved. And certain players have even been on NFL fields in the preseason. Certain college football players have signed NFL contracts. Some, according to Andrew Brandt, who said this on Twitter, were going to their NFL teams and asking to be waived so they could then be eligible to go back to college based on certain court rulings. Well, it appears as if it's not like the industry, the establishment is fighting back against these players because in the federal case, the NCAA fought back and had it overturned. That was a federal case that was heard in Colorado. So then it fell onto states' courts. Well, now the Big Ten is fighting back. The Big Ten today officially passed unanimously a conference rule that you cannot have anybody on your college football team that played in the NFL. Pete Thamel, who has been on top of all of this reporting, I hate how much background I have to give on this conversation, and apparently so does the train nearby. Pete Thamel, ESPN, who has been on top of all this reporting, tweeted out an hour ago, the Big Ten rule banning NFL players has officially passed with unanimous faculty rep approval. Here's the specific language of what's not allowed. Underclassmen who declared for the NFL draft and did not withdraw, any football player who signed a contract with a pro sports league, anyone who is officially on a professional roster. Those players not eligible to come back. As of today, the voting from the Big Ten. I will officially put my skepticism on this because I have seen similar thoughts from similar organizations be made and only to see those go down in court rulings. And if a court does say these players have a right to be back in college sports, I'm not sure conferences will stand up any better than the NCAA. I can add one hope if you are somebody that doesn't want to see NFL players going back to college. If the argument that the NCAA couldn't outlaw these players was it would be eliminating their opportunity to make a living, to have the NIL funding coming their way, the Big Ten outlawing them playing would not, because they could go play for other conferences. So if the argument is, you're restricting their right to work, it's not technically restricting their right to work, just their right to work in the Big Ten. So maybe that's a difference that ends up being upholdable, to use a word that's probably not a word, in court.
Well, we all know that the Ivy League has had the rule for years that once you get past your 4th year of school, you can't play in the Ivy League anymore, even though you might have an extra year of eligibility. So it's not like unprecedented that someone who has played X amount of time in college is ineligible, or a conference would deem them ineligible. The Ivy League already does it.
Do you you saw The Social Network?
Yeah.
It's a great movie, by the way, if you haven't seen it. They're coming out with a sequel. No idea what to expect. There's the scene where the Winklevosses, the Winklevi, are trying to figure out how they can sue Mark Zuckerberg, and they get lost between law and men of Harvard, like whether it's against the law or whether it's like against the handbook.
Yeah.
And for them, meaning like people at Harvard, there's no difference, right? Like if you go against being a man of Harvard, that's like as bad as like breaking the law. I wonder if the Ivy Leagues would hold up under court.
I'm surprised that hasn't been challenged yet.
I agree, except I think everybody in the Ivy Leagues is like a man of or a woman of the Ivy League. You know what I mean? I think there's like more respect there for the rules. The issue with major college sports is I think there's always going to be a coach or a team or a booster that is desperate enough to say, no, forget the guidelines. Like, unless it's illegal, if it helps us win, I'm going to do it. I think LSU will pretty much do like if the SEC banned it, there's no doubt in my mind somebody for LSU would fund a court onslaught of that rule if it means more likely that that LSU would win a national championship or win an SEC championship. I think one of the big issues is there's so much money tied up in college sports right now that there are, I don't want to say nobody, because I still think there are people in college sports that think of like what's best for the athletes. There are enough out there that will say we have to do by any and all means necessary whatever we can to put the best team on the field. Whether it's like, hey, we've borrowed against future cash to put this together, and if we don't have a good team and we don't make the CFP and we don't do this and we don't do that, we're not going to get the return on that money, and we're going to be, up a creek without a paddle. In the Ivy Leagues, and this is no disrespect to the Ivy League, there's no sports where winning matters as much as it does to the top FBS programs.
To me, I don't think that matters, though. Like, to me, like, just how you value it doesn't matter, in my opinion, because the precedent is set. It's all about eligibility. And a conference can set different rules when it comes to eligibility outside of what the NCAA. For example,
until a court says you can't.
Well, a conference can say, for, let's say, academic, like NCAA has a baseline, you have to be a certain GPA in order to be academically eligible. Well, in our conference, to be eligible, we can raise the standard. We can raise that GPA. So you can still, you can be on the roster. You can make money on name, image, and likeness, but you can't play. Like, there's a difference. There's a difference there.
Yeah, I guess my issue would be, or not my issue, my concern, right? Because I hope you're right.
Yeah.
My concern would be if, let's say there's what we're going to call it the Drive Conference, okay?
All right.
And a school within the Drive Conference said, you need to have a 3.0 GPA or better to play athletics. And somebody sued them, and the court said it is against the law to make sure someone has a 3 or better GPA. And then the conference swoops in and says, I'd like to put a 3.0 GPA or better. It's like, I just don't know how that would hold up when this other thing didn't. Like, the NCAA also has eligibility rules that have been held up for years and years and years and years. This one didn't, right? And now the conferences are trying to do the exact same thing that the NCAA did. And sure, conferences have a long history of eligibility rules that have been upheld, as did the NCAA. It's just anytime these bigger groups go to court, until like 3 days ago, it seems like they lose every single time. So I'm concerned, but I respect everybody that's fighting the good fight to keep college sports what I love about it, which is there's a ticking clock in eligibility, right? Like, the last game of every season I played in college football, there were hugs with guys who I knew I would never play with again because their eligibility was up, right? And it was like, I wish we would have done better for you this year, right? I wish we would have won that game to play one more with you. And that's part of what makes it so meaningful. Like, that doesn't happen in the NFL unless somebody announces they're retiring and they have a retirement tour, right? But that's very, very few and far between. In the NFL, it's like, all right, see you next year. Maybe not. Maybe I'll play against you next year. You're a free agent. Like, it's not that. college sports are different, and I hope that courts don't keep stepping in and saying the parts that we love about college sports are not allowed, because if they do that enough, it's going to look different than the sport that we all fell in love with, or the sports that we all fell in love with. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have the starting five coming up. We have the Durham Bulls with the Stanley Cup coming up. We have Week 0 football in 4 days coming up. But before we can get to any of that, Dennis Cox has something he'd like to tell you right now.
That's right, I do. Hey, Dennis Cox here real quick for my good friends over at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. I know a lot of people, as you get older, I mean, I'm 40 years old now. I know how difficult it is to keep the body weight down. The metabolism slows down. The body may not have as much testosterone pumping through it. Well, guess what? This is where Raleigh Weight Loss Center steps in. And here's the thing about Raleigh Weight Loss Center. And I've been on their program. I've lost weight through the program. I've been able to keep the weight off. And I even have the mind of, I got a wedding date coming up here in just over 2 months. I have a goal weight. I have a wedding date. And I know the plan to attack to get to that point. And the whole part of Raleigh Weight Loss Center is all about resetting and restarting your metabolism. Jumpstart it, to say the least. No shots or injections. No steroids, so we're not juicing up or anything like that over here. No HGH, you don't have to worry about any of the side effects or any of that kind of stuff. Again, it's all about resetting and restarting your metabolism. That way your body can do the natural thing, which is burn off fat, which is burn off weight. That is the point of the program. Give them a call, 919-897-7506, or visit RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. Set up a free 15-minute phone consultation. If you're serious about losing weight, don't wait until the new year or any of that kind of stuff. Just go ahead and start now. Give them a call, 919-897-7506, or visit RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. Set up that free 15-minute phone consultation. Figure out if the plan is the right thing for you. And follow the plan. I guarantee you're going to see results in some way, shape, or form. Again, I've been on that program. I know how it can work. Trust me. 919-897-7506 or RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. Results may vary.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Will be back with the starting five from Durham Bulls Athletic Park next.
Adam.
I'm Adam Gold, and I'm there.
Tim.
I'm Tim Donnelly, and I'm there.
Dennis.
I'm Dennis Cox, and I'm there.
Victoria.
I'm Victoria Bodenecker, and I'm there.
Paul.
I'm Paul Eihander, and I'm there too.
You'll find them all here on the brand new 99.9 The Fan app. To work, to school, the beach, the mountains, the arena, take The Fan with you wherever you go. Available for Apple iPhone and Android phones. Download the 99.9 The Fan app today.
Your team deserves better than a boring holiday party.
Rush Hour Karting has high-speed racing, axe throwing, scratch-made food, private rooms, and more. Everything you need, one destination. And right now, you can save up to 30% when you book by August 31st. The bigger the event, the bigger the savings. Book it. Pay the deposit. Party when you want.
Does not apply to currently booked events. Minimum purchase requirements.
Rush Hour Karting. 20 years of serious adult fun. RHKFun.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-330-8323 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-330-8323. That's 800-330-8323. What do you have to lose? Call 800-330-8323. Again, 800-330-8323.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, Injury Lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it.
That one back, that one going, gone!
Go to RitchieLaw.com.
That's RitchieLaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Eagle Leasing Storage Studio. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
Hey, it's the weather I'm WRAL meteorologist Kat Campbell. It's our last of these really nice evenings. Enjoy it while you can. It's mostly clear to partly cloudy with a low of 65. We heat back up to 90 on Wednesday with slightly more humid air, and that'll come with about a 20% chance of a pop-up storm.
5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones up 160 points today to 53,577. This hour of The Drive is brought to you by Law Tigers. Injured in a motorcycle accident? Call Law Tigers before you call your insurance company. Case evaluations are always free, and you don't pay a dime until your case settles. Law Tigers, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting five.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We're live from Durham Bulls Athletic Park. We'll get to the starting five in a second. I'm Tim Donnelly. Dennis Cox is here with me. However, we did just get word that the guest of honor for the Durham Bulls game against the Norfolk Tides is also in the athletic park, in Durham Bulls Athletic Park. And you may be saying, who's this guest of honor? If it's not you, who would it be? It's the Stanley Cup. So the Stanley Cup is over there in the outfield concourse. The gates don't open until 5:30, so Dennis, rightfully so, has taken some time to go over there, potentially grab some pictures and things with the most famous trophy in sports. It opens up at 5:30 for those of you that don't know. 5:30 to 9 today on the concourse here at Durham Bulls Athletic Park. The Stanley Cup will be in attendance for pictures, except for the very small portion where it'll be down on the field for the first pitch, which Jordan Martinook will be throwing out today. So we're having a good time here. Hopefully you're having a good time as well. I'm going to try to sneak over there at some point. But the crowds are definitely gathering. The word on the street is the Stanley Cup is here. Now it's time for the starting five. The starting five is brought to you by Baker Home Exteriors. The Baker family has roofed the Carolinas since 1915. Baker Home Exteriors, roofing, siding, windows, and doors. Always good work. BakerHomeExteriors.com. Let's start the starting five with number 5.
Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. UNC taking its time. Lopez to the end zone. He's got ship. Touchdown, Carolina.
Carolina in Dublin, Saturday against TCU, week 0. I mean, it's Tuesday of game week. Week 0, strange game week. The first game, always a weird game week because at a certain point you transition from like training camp mindset to game week. You go from working on yourself, working on knowing your plays, installing to game plan specific. It's always just a little off routine based on what you're going to do for the rest of the year. But it's even more strange when you have to travel to Ireland. Okay, so Carolina's getting ready for a big game in the big picture, I guess. Big game in the era of Bill Belichick being the head coach of the Carolina Tar Heels, while having a bunch of wrenches thrown into their prep, right? Players, coaches, football teams, they are routine creatures. All the way down to, sometimes people call it superstition. I think a lot of it is routine, right? Like, oh, he always has to eat the same meal. Oh, he always has to, tie his shoes the same way. I think a lot of it is just routine. It takes things off of your worries, right? If you eat the same thing before every game, you're not worried about how it's going to react with your stomach, or hey, I've played really well on this, so I'm going to have enough energy. I'm not going to be tired at the end. It just takes worries off of your plate. So Carolina going to Ireland, going to be a unique experience, going to be a fun experience to take on TCU. The lines came out today, the spread, TCU 7.5-point favorites. I have to be honest, I expected a larger number. I expected them to be larger favorites than that. So perhaps Vegas is telling us something we don't know, that Carolina is going to be able to keep it a bit closer than maybe we expected. All right, let's get to number 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
all together.
Snap blitzes on. Bailey sees it, rifles it, end zone, back shoulder, sliding grab is made.
Goodness.
Terrell Anderson inside the 5. He slides back for the ball as Bailey released it on 3rd and 15 from the Duke 28 to the Duke 3.
All right, quick hiatus in the starting 5. Dennis, did it look as glorious as we expected to look out there in the outfield concourse, the Stanley Cup trophy?
Yes,
Okay.
It did. Absolutely did. It was gorgeous. Very shiny out there in the sun, to say the least.
They do a good job with it.
By the way, they do have a set. If you do come here at Durham Bulls Athletic Park, because you take a picture with the Stanley Cup, I just took a picture of it. I didn't take a picture with it. But they actually have the team, the Canes, right there front and center. So when you're taking the picture, the Canes,
nice.
Their listing is right there so people can see it.
All
their engravings, I should say.
I will say this. Jordan Martinook is going to be here with the trophy.
Yeah.
He's throwing out the first pitch here at Durham Bulls Athletic Park for their game against the Norfolk Tides later tonight, 6:45. 6:12 is the time for the first pitch. He's an NC State football fan.
That he is.
He's been out there for their ceremonies on the field as well, doing the Wolf Pack chants and all those things. So let's go to NC State. They're also playing Week 0. Not as cool of a location as Dublin or Brazil, which is where the game was originally scheduled. Instead, it is in Charlottesville against UVA.
Really cool place.
Hey, there you go. Do you want to be the tourism board for your home real quick? And 3.5 hours, roughly? I mean, how far of a drive is it?
Depending on where you are coming from in Raleigh, if you're coming more like North Raleigh or so along those lines, looking more 3.5, but about 3.5, 4 hours, again, depending on the triangle where you're coming. But
as of the weekend, tickets were very reasonably priced. There's some 2-for-1s and things. So if you're a State fan, maybe you want to think about making the trip for a Week 0 game. What are they going to see in your hometown of Charlottesville?
It's a really easy trip to make to and from, so you can do it in a day, especially for a 3:30 kick. Do not expect a lot of tailgating, because this is the way where Scott Stadium is set up in Charlottesville. There isn't a lot of big parking lots or anything like that we're used to, obviously, around NC State especially. But we don't have a lot of that around. We didn't have a lot of that growing up in Charlottesville, where I grew up. So the tailgating is kind of sparse. So don't expect a big tailgate scene. A little bit of a wine and cheese crowd, I will say that. And I can say that as someone who went to many of those games. Pretty much a lot of wine and cheese crowd. That's what you're going to expect. But it is a beautiful place to watch a game. I will say that 100%. And just walking up to the stadium really is gorgeous when you're on the grounds of UVA.
Yes, I will second, especially the grounds. You got to call it the grounds.
Yes.
I was going to say campus. I was going to do it, but they get mad. Do you know what is, and this goes for the teams in our area, but also obviously UVA, and it's also just college football is starting, so I'm feeling all the warms and fuzzies. One of the things, there's a lot of talk right now with the eligibility issues about everything that's going wrong in college sports and the NIL and the transfer portal and all of this lawyers, and it just feels like it's getting scummier and less enjoyable. To point out something good, I love when you go to a college football game, you don't get the same experience at every single location. The NFL is kind of becoming, oh, did you build a $4 billion stadium in the last 10 years? Oh, does it look exactly like the other $4 billion stadiums that have been built in the last 10 years? Like you're losing some of the fingerprint, right? If you're in our area and you go to a college basketball game at Cameron, at the Dean Dome, or at the Lenovo Center for Duke, UNC, and State, they all feel wildly different. It's all ACC basketball, or same with football, right? Whether you're at Wallace Wade, whether you're at Keenan, whether you're at Carter Finley, they're all in the same region. They're all in the same part of the state. They're all in the same conference, but you have uniqueness. So when you have an opportunity, and this happens in the ACC a lot, when you have an opportunity as a State fan, as a Carolina fan, as a Duke fan, a Wake fan, whoever, to go experience an away game, you're not just going to, it's not like, oh, I'm just going to be in the same stadium. It's just there's going to be less people rooting for the team I'm rooting for. Going to a game at UVA is nothing like going to a game at Virginia Tech, is nothing like going to a game at Louisville. And we go on and on. I really like that. So go, like, if you can this weekend, if you can make it to Charlottesville and you're a State fan, do it. And you know what? Bring some of your tailgating stuff. You might not have the same energy, but, bring your identity. Their identity will be there as long as you're all cool and nobody's, crossing any personal lines. It'll go fine. And that's coming from somebody I've been to UVA as a visiting fan, and it's a cool vibe. If it rains, stay out of the mud. That's all I'll say. 'Cause
Yeah.
there are people filming you on that hill with real mud, and if you fall, you will end up on blooper reels.
That is a steep hill.
That is.
It really is.
That is something you should know. NC State's playing UVA. Big game for both. Massive game for NC State. They're not ramping up. They're starting on full blast. That is number 4. Let's get to number 3. So there are, I think we did the math yesterday, 4 or 5 players that either went to college or live in our area that have made the Tour Championship for the PGA this season, the FedEx Cup Championship. Top 30, they'll be playing this weekend, and it's going to be really, really exciting. Starting in a couple years, the PGA has announced that if you make the Tour Championship, it'll be way more exciting. They've already announced there's going to be a promotion and a relegation year to year for the PGA Tour, which is great. It adds competition not just at the top, but also at the bottom of the PGA Tour. The way I will describe that is, right now, if you are competing to be one of the top 70, 50, or 30 players of the season, there's a ton of competition. If you're beyond 70, you want to play well, don't get me wrong, right? Like, you'd rather be 85 than 87. But starting in a couple years with promotion and relegation, it could be live or die, meaning you're either going to be on the PGA Tour next year or you're not if you're in the top 80 or top 90, whatever it ends up being. So that's exciting. More competition. They're ending on match play now, they revealed today. Commissioner was talking to the media. The Tour Championship is going to be match play, which we really get to see who's made of something. You know what I mean? Every shot, you know what's on you know what the stakes are, right? The amount of times in stroke play a PGA Tour golfer has the most important shot of the tournament on like the 6th hole and they don't even know it because they're playing early and other guys are playing late and they don't know, but holing out on the 6th hole ended up being the stroke that won them millions of dollars. That doesn't happen in match play. In match play, this could be worth a hole. This could be 2 up. This could be 3 up. This could get me from 2 down to 1 down. It could be the difference. It's my favorite thing in the world is match play, and the PGA Tour has actually systemically kind of gotten rid of match play over the years. There used to be the WGC match play, the Dell Technologies match play. They used to have all these cool events, and they've just gone away. Not anymore. They're bringing it back for the Tour Championship. I absolutely love it. It'll start in 2028, but it's the U.S. Amateur does it. There's a whole bunch of legendary stories about it. And then lastly, this will be the last golf nerd thing I say. The last weekend will be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It'll be, I think it's 16 golfers. They'll all play all 4 rounds. If you're only bringing 16 golfers, some of the legendary venues that would balk at bringing in a 150-person tournament or the thousands and thousands of people over all this time because they're too prestigious, they're too snooty, I think they're going to be open to hosting 1 or a couple or maybe all 4 of those rounds. So we might get Pine Valley, we might get Cypress Point, we might get some places that have already hosted legendary sporting events, legendary golf moments from 60 years ago, but have since not opened themselves up to the PGA Tour. I'm very excited for that. And that is Tim being nerdy about golf. And number 3, let's get to number 2.
Just the 2 of us. Minso, the shotgun snap. Give it to Shepard through the left side. 10. Cuts inside at the 5, and he's into the end zone. Touchdown! It's 41-25 with the extra point to come.
Manny Diaz and the Duke Blue Devils have named their starting quarterback. It's going to be Walker Eget, the transfer from San Jose State. For the exact words of the head coach that made that decision, here's Manny Diaz on naming Eget the starting quarterback.
It was a good decision because it was a hard decision. So we're really pleased at how both quarterbacks developed. I think Dan has made really massive strides with all the reps he got in spring when Walker was limited, and then just through the competition that we had in training camp. I think the team believes that we can win with both guys. Both guys have a different set of skill sets that we could, frame our offense around. But when it all came down to it, it was just about consistency, which is normally just what you expect from an older guy, of keeping the same level day after day. And so, I think we were at that moment. I think the team, just given our offseason, I think the team needed a starting quarterback. And like I said, they'll follow both, but I think they're happy now that they know that Walker is the number one.
There is a lot of good in what he just said. I'm going to look big picture at it for a second. We've talked about Walker Eget being named the Duke quarterback a few times today. For what he brings to the offense and everything, it's stability, it's high floor, it's experience, it's protecting from bad plays, avoiding sacks, all of those things. From a big picture standpoint, it is very, very, very – it's becoming very, very, very difficult for a quarterback to earn a starting job as a homegrown talent unless you are the supernova recruit that comes in as a 5-star and starts as a freshman, or
like at Tennessee,
where Faison Brandon from Greensboro is starting as a true freshman. Almost to the point where if I were questioned by a family friend who's trying to play quarterback in college at a power conference level, if they're a 3-star, a 4-star, and they're coming to me and saying, listen, I've got offers to Boston College and Vanderbilt and wherever. What do you think I should do? I'd go, are they promising you early playing time? Like, are they saying real first-year playing time? Because if they're not, I might say call up a American or a MAC conference school and see if they won't treat you like a god for 2 years and make you one of the biggest recruits in school history, because 2 years of tape at San Jose State is going to trump 2 years of pretty good practice at a power conference school, right? Like, it's having real tape in college, I think, is really difficult for coaches to pick against when they're naming their starting quarterback. Ipso facto, Eget over Mahan, or I guess Billy Edwards Jr. over Newkirk, or like so many of these guys. Like, find somewhere you can play. Go out there and play well, then name your location. If you have a dream school, this is the way I'll put it.
Okay.
If a 4-star recruit came to me and said, my dream school is, I'll pick a local team who doesn't have a quarterback controversy just to make this easy, NC State. I want to play there my whole life. And I'm going, well, you're not playing over CJ Bailey. So you're not playing this year. If he comes back, you're not playing over him next year.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you have like Coastal Carolina or Old Dominion saying, if you show up, we'll build the offense around you. You're a 4-star. You'd be the first 4-star quarterback since to commit here. I'd be going, like, you might want to do that and go play 2 years there, and that'll give you a better chance of starting at NC State, because coming over as the veteran with tape is a more direct way to starting in the power conference.
I mean, look what Darian Mensah starting at Tulane before transferring. Gio Lopez starting at South Alabama before transferring. The other guys Joey Aguilar at App State before transferring to Tennessee.
And even CJ Bailey, you could argue, fortunate's the wrong word, but he was behind Grayson McCall as a true freshman who came from Coastal Carolina, having played 1 billion games with Coastal. An injury is what gave CJ Bailey the opportunity to play his freshman year, and who knows how his career goes differently if Grayson McCall doesn't get hurt, because then the next year maybe they're going, we can't roll in with a redshirt freshman with no experience. Let's bring in a transfer from and it's a different space. So I'm not saying Duke did anything wrong by naming Walker Eget. I'm just saying Dan Mahan, who didn't win the quarterback competition and reportedly made it close, it's just really, really tough to win that spot based on what he did, which was redshirt last year, do his best to improve without playing in games, and then compete with a guy that could point to, like, here's what I did last year on tape. Let's watch it. This is what I learned from it. This is all those, like, it's more tangible for the coaches. So college sports, specifically quarterbacks, if you want to be the starter at a power conference school, I might be like, well, find a nearby group of 5 and go ball out there, and they'll find you. They might keep in touch with you on the low over the year you're at the group of 5. Just don't tell anybody. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Congrats to Walker Eget, by the way. has to be fun for him to get a chance to play in the ACC. And, I'm sure his family is excited and nervous and everything else all rolled into one. That's number 2. Let's get to number 1.
Go one!
For the first time on the road, the Carolina Hurricanes are delivering a Stanley Cup winning storm surge.
The Durham Bulls tonight have a baseball game. They're taking on the Norfolk Tides. It's a beautiful day out. That alone would be reason to make your way out to Durham Bulls Athletic Park today and catch the game, which is where we are, by the way. However, I'm going to be like, who was it? Billy Mays, the But Wait, There's More guy from the infomercials in the 90s and 2000s. But wait, there's more. The more is the Stanley Cup is also in the building. The Stanley Cup out on the outfield terrace. Doors will be opening here in about 9 minutes. And everybody's going to be storming over there trying to get some pictures, trying to hang out with the Stanley Cup and celebrate the Stanley Cup championship that the Carolina Hurricanes were able to win. The Cup has been all over the Midwest. The Cup has been all over Canada. The Cup has been all over the Triangle. The Cup has been partied with. The Cup has been taken near boats. The Cup has been on docks. The Cup has been youth hockey rinks all across the country. It's been celebrated with many different communities, and now it is here at the Durham Bulls Athletic Park, where it will be celebrated with the Durham Bulls and the fans that are both fans of the Bulls and the Canes. But wait, there's more. In less than an hour, expected right over our shoulder here, Jordan Martinook will be throwing out the first pitch.
6:12.
6:12 expected time for that. So, and the Cup, that'll be the only time it's not on the concourse for pictures and everything, is when it's down on the field with Martinook for the opening pitch. So I say all of that to say this. In our industry, right, I root for local teams, right? And it's kind of a cop-out, right, especially when there's such fierce rivalries in the area. But I truly believe that, like, success on one athletic front raises kind of just the interest in sports across the entire spectrum of sports for an area. So the Canes winning the Stanley Cup turns more kids in the area into sports fans. Now they want to come out and catch a Bulls game. They come out and catch a Bulls game. They see Jordan Martinook throw out the first pitch. They go, hey, I like that guy. He's bringing good vibes. He's fun. I'm going to go be a bigger Canes fan. Go to a Canes game. It's in the Lenovo Center. Hey, I'm going to watch an ACC basketball game. It could be in the Lenovo Center. Oh, look at that, NC State. Now it's all connected around here. We're in Durham. Maybe that turns them into a Duke fan. There's just a ton of webs to be woven. And I think what we're going to see is the Canes Stanley Cup championship, which is truly rare, once every 20 years so far. Hopefully they don't have to wait that long for the next one. But you're just going to see not only a generation of Canes fans, you're going to see a generation of sports fans that are kind of built out of the moment we're having right now. And there's going to be a few moments where those paths truly intersect, and today is one of them, where a Durham Bulls game is hosting the Stanley Cup.
I think it's really awesome that the sports teams around here, obviously being the Canes specifically with the Durham Bulls, but the fact that there's been such close ties between the two organizations, the fact that the players embrace it, which is really, really cool. And I think also as well, you see, like you mentioned, Jordan Martinook at NC State stuff. We've seen Canes guys at Duke stuff. I've seen guys from Carolina Hurricanes at UNC stuff. It's just the fact that they embrace the area, I think, is really a lot of fun. And I think it also as well, I think as us as fans also appreciate it even more. It's like, oh, you are one of us because you're doing the thing that I do. Like, oh, I see you at a state game. I'm also at the state game. Or I see you at a Carolina game. I'm also at the Carolina game. I'm doing the exact same thing.
I weirdly hate's the wrong word, but I don't like it when athletes make it like super part of their personality that like they don't watch sports when they're not playing.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, no, love it like us. And around here, there's a lot of love for sports. It's really exciting. The Knicks might have their celebrity row. We have like Canes fans at the college games.
Yeah.
I like that more. That's more us than directors that are fans only in the playoffs.
Trust me, I have been in the locker room.
Not Spike Lee, by the way.
I've been in the locker room post-practice at times, during basketball season, whatever it might be at the Canes, and they're like, guys going back and forth, like, no. You don't understand. Like, if we get our three-point shooting going, we're going to be great. Like, they're talking about State or Carolina or something like that. So, like, it's no different than us, which is a lot of fun.
That's the starting five. Brought to you by Baker Home Exteriors for roofing, siding, windows, and doors. Trust the team that's been doing good work for over 100 years. Baker Home Exteriors, roofing the Carolinas since 1915. Dennis, you have something you want to tell the people?
I
then
do.
we have a quick break. So you send it to commercial because I'm going to try to go get a picture with the Stanley Cup.
Go.
And we'll be back after this. And then Dennis has something to tell you. See you, everybody.
Hey, Dennis Cox here real quick from my good friends over at Loan Pronto. If you have a 2, 3, or 4% mortgage rate, don't refinance it. You don't have to, but you can still get cash out of your home. Introducing Loan Pronto's zero-cost equity loan. That's right. With Loan Pronto, you can get all the cash you need in as little as 2 weeks. But still get all the cash you need without touching your first mortgage and without paying any fees. One local homeowner just got $100,000. They paid off all their credit cards. They paid off their existing HELOC, remodeled their kitchen, and saved over $1,500 a month while doing so. And it gets better. There's no hard credit pull up front, usually no appraisal, no long drawn-out process. And listen, like I said, no closing costs. You may even be able to skip your next 2 house payments. Call Loan Pronto now. Leave your low-rate mortgage intact, but still get the cash you need, like I said, in as little as 2 weeks without paying closing costs. LoanPronto.com. See how much you can get right now. 919-381-1760. That's 919-381-1760. LoanPronto.com. For qualified homeowners, equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, NMLSconsumeraccess.org. The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. Tim is he's off to go take a picture with the Stanley Cup real quick because we're here at Durham Bulls Athletic Park. The Cup is here. Come to Durham Bulls Athletic Park. Check out Section 205 if you're buying tickets online. Our special 99.9 The Fan section, $9.99 per ticket. Someone's name that you will see on that cup is Sebastian Aho. Is he underrated as a center across the NHL, or is he properly rated? Maybe he's overrated. The NHL came under the list of top 20 centers in the NHL. Where does Sebastian Aho rank, and is that the right fit? Next on The Drive.
The NFL kicks off September 9th.
There goes Tommy down the right sideline across midfield. Tommy Tremble with the thunder. Touchdown! Touchdown! Chicago's caught a touchdown pass.
On 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
Bryce Magic is real, and Coker has played the game of his life.
Presented by Fairway Green and Wake Med.
Gotta love it.
Plenty of companies will sell you a new roof. Fewer will tell you if you actually need one. Since 1915, people across the Carolinas have trusted the Baker name to do right by their homes. Baker Home Exteriors now does roofing, siding, windows, and doors, and always honest advice. The motto puts it plainly: we shall do good work, at a profit if we can, at a loss if we must, but always good work. Trust the team that's earned it for over 100 years. Baker Home Exteriors. Visit bakerhomeexteriors.com.
It's bow time. We think a chicken sandwich this good should speak for itself. But when you're talking juicy, hand-breaded, and boldly seasoned chicken breasts, piled up with thick-cut pickles and creamy mayo all on a buttery toasted bun, well, we are happy to say it again and again and again. Bo's Chicken Sandwich, only at Bojangles. It's bow time.
It's bow time. Time to satisfy your Bojangles sandwich craving. With Bojangles sandwich lineup, you can choose a flavorful Cajun fried chicken filet sandwich, or a tender Cajun grilled chicken filet sandwich, or a tasty Bo's chicken sandwich. Make it a combo and add your choice of a side and Bojangles legendary iced tea. There's a Bojangles sandwich combo for everyone. Summer just doesn't get any better than that. What are you waiting for? It's bow time.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. In case you're wondering, I did get a picture with the cup. Also got a picture with Wooly Bull. So, you know, the two guests of honor at today's Durham Bulls game. Actually, Jordan Martinook's probably somewhere in there as well. He'll be throwing out the first pitch.
What if Jordan Martinook is in Wooly Bull?
I Listen, I know that the Canes like undersized players, and or they don't like it, but they don't mind signing up some undersized players. That was not Jordan Martin.
Oh, okay.
it was a little on the slighter side than what we expect from old Marty. He's probably warming up if I had to guess. He maybe not quite yet, but I imagine he's somebody that doesn't want to skip it. You know what I mean? He's throwing in the first pitch in about 45 minutes, maybe a little bit less.
It's down there in the clubhouse.
Yeah, I think he's heating it up. What do you think on the radar gun? Where Jordan Martinook? I'll go over under 55.
Oh, over.
Do you think he's going?
Well, yeah.
To me, that I put 55 because to me that's like, did you heat it up or were you just like, hey, lob?
You're talking about for his actual first pitch.
For his actual first pitch.
Oh, for his actual first
not
pitch.
Ability.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking ability. I was like, I'm pretty sure you could probably throw
pretty
70
disrespectful
plus.
to Jordan Martin.
Wait a second here.
He's a professional athlete.
Yeah, I think you know what? I'll still go over. I think a solid 60 mile per hour.
So put a little pepper on it.
Yeah, a little something on it.
Something to make him think.
He's going to impress.
People, I know some club hockey players from back in the day. I don't know, like I haven't spent recreational time with hockey players, but I've been told they're a sneaky pick for like which sport would be best at like a athletic decathlon.
Oh yeah.
Like if you took basketball players, football players, tennis players, golfers, hockey players, all the way around the sports world, and you said, we're going to play all 10 of your sports. Hockey players, I've been told, are a sneaky pick for. They might be best at that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I 100% agree with that. I genuinely agree with that.
I've seen some like basketball players try to throw a baseball and it doesn't go well.
Yeah.
Not all of them. I'm generalizing a bit. I think if you could go just quarterbacks, I think we'd have a chance. But if you throw all football players in there, certain body types just aren't gonna work. All right, let's talk about what's going on right now. 5:30, the gates opened for Stanley Cup pictures with fans.
People are going pouring
it is
straight over.
5:32, and I would say the line is already pretty much through the roped-off area, and people are flooding in. This is...
We literally have people running over there.
There were definitely.
We're doing
people
live play-by-play of this right now. Actually, you know what? For those watching on YouTube, I'm just going to go ahead and turn the camera, just so people are just flooding over to where the Stanley Cup is.
All right, we were going to talk, and maybe we will still talk about some actual hockey stuff here. This is another example, and we've had a ton. Whether it was the watch parties when the Stanley Cup finals were being played in Vegas, and the Lenovo Center was filling out to watch it on the Jumbotron and watch it with those dots on the ice. Whether it was the parade, whether it's just walking around and seeing all of the Canes gear. This is another opportunity where it truly feels like the fans had something to do with it, right? Like this is an ownership thing where Canes fans have shown up to celebrate with a trophy that they won. You know what I mean? Like the Stanley Cup, it's here, and it's almost like, oh, good, this is our day with the cup, right? Stahl got one, Aho got one, Martinook got one day with the cup. This is one of the days where the fans get their day with the cup, and I just love how many people just rolled in here wearing Canes gear, Canes jerseys, custom Canes jerseys, the Stanley Cup merchandise, the gear that says Stanley Cup champions on it.
Yeah, those championship shirts. I've seen a lot of those.
It's a very, very cool thing. And with the line I'm looking at, just know that I'm very glad I ran over there during the last commercial break to get a picture. Because I would have felt very, very bad if I cut all of these people, or if I had to wait in the line. I don't think there'd be time. So we're here at Durham Bulls Athletic Park, if you can't tell. The Stanley Cup is here. I will say it is a beautiful day. Might get a little toasty if you're rocking the winter hat Canes jersey combo, especially the black jerseys, which look sharp, but they're built for the rink, not necessarily the 80 or 90 degree day outside in Durham. But it's fun. And if you're making your way out here and you're mad or you're bummed because you just heard me talk about a long line, the Cup will be in the concourse from 5:30 to 9 p.m. with the only time where it's not going to be there is when it's down on the field for Jordan Martinook's first pitch. So
I'm going to turn our camera again. Keep talking, Joe. I'm just going to turn our camera again just to see like the flood of people coming up the steps that are right here in front of us.
So if you're making your way out here, maybe the move is to enjoy baseball for a little bit and then go get in line closer to I don't know, a couple hours from now when maybe all of the people that are in line already. But that's a risk because obviously the line might stay that long the whole time. I don't know. The Stanley Cup is a pretty popular deal here. Let's talk about somebody whose name's on the cup. How about that? Quick conversation. We've been monitoring the NHL Network's rankings. The NHL Network is doing a series where, and it's the NHL media, not just the NHL Network, but it's the league's media. They're doing a series where, like, every week they're releasing a different top 20 list, and I'm actually intrigued to see. They have 9 of them. I'm guessing they're going to have to go, like, GM, coach, ownership, because, you know, there's only so many position groups. But they've done wings. They've done defensemen. We now get centers. Sebastian Aho is a top 20 center. He is the second player from the Canes that I've seen on one of these lists. Jacob Slavin was on the defenseman list. And now Sebastian Aho, number 12 on the ranking of NHL top centers across the league. I had a very similar experience that I had with Jacob Slavin, which is you hear 12 and you go, he was a top line center on a cup champion. He's got to be top 10. And then you look at the 11 above him and you go, you know what? Maybe 12 makes sense. Maybe he's right where he needs to be. So, Dennis, I don't think the conversation. Hey, Stormy just walked out.
Yeah, Stormy's here.
I don't think the conversation is about where should Sebastian Aho be. I think the question is for Sebastian Aho to take a leap, go from 12 to say 7 or better.
Oh, to 7 or better? Hey, just based off the rankings, because you're talking about Nathan McKinnon, Connor McDavid, Macklin Celebrini, Leon Draisaitl. I mean, those are the guys 1, 2, 3, and 4, with Connor McDavid being number 1. And then you're looking at, again, Nathan McKinnon. It's a stacked group.
Let's make it even more round number.
Yeah.
For him to go top 10.
Top 10
after the next 2 or 3 seasons.
He's got to put up a 100-point season.
I agree. 100 points.
He's got to put up a 100-point season.
Or so that's one way, right?
Yeah.
Is just go, because if you read the descriptions, pretty much everyone above him is 100 points this season, or didn't get to 100 this year, but got there in 4 of the previous 6 or something like it's. There's a lot of 100-point talk. It's just 100 RBIs, 20 points per game, 300 yards passing. Whatever it is, like there are certain benchmarks just because they're round numbers, and 100 points is that. He needs to do that. But let me ask you this. Here's a hypothetical. How many cups for him to not need 100 points, where we're just saying his winning attributes are so impactful that he's a top 10 center? Because it does happen, right? Like it does happen where a player wins enough that we forgive them for not having the individual statistics. Draymond Green's going to be a Hall of Famer. Draymond doesn't have statistics of a Hall of Famer, but he won enough that we said it must matter. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you're saying in terms of actual NHL ranking. I think here's the thing I will say about the NHL ranking, and I think it does a really, really good job of it, is that they rank the individual player, not their team success. Because you look at the 3 of the top 4 are, again, Connor McDavid, Nathan McKinnon, Macklin Celebrini, and Leon Draisaitl. Those guys have a combined 1 cup between those 4. 1.
Yes.
So to me, I don't think
like if they
total cups really would matter. I really don't think so.
I think if he wins 2 of the next 3, and he is leading point guy on the team, then suddenly all of the talk about two-way centers, right? His defense, he doesn't need to be a 100-point guy to be the best guy on the floor or on the ice, excuse me. I do think we craft narratives around winners that don't necessarily, you don't get the benefit of the doubt if you're not winning. For example, you can't, and by the way, 2 of the next 3 is an outlandish bar to set. You can't have a team that's won 3 of 4 cups not have anyone in the top 10 at their position. You know what I mean? Like, our brains won't allow it to happen. So unless, a Jackson Blake or something goes and scores 40 goals and then you can throw them up there in wingers, I think they would force somebody up And Aho is as good as any because his two-way hockey, his impact on winning, it is legit, right? Like, eventually you get to the point where we give you credit for impacting wins, whether you're actually doing it or not, if you win enough.
Yeah, I get what you're saying in terms of the narrative of that, but to me, I think there's just the talent level of some of these guys is just so extremely high. Cracking that top 10, like, again, look at the individual, because Austin Matthews is there in that top 10. He's at number 8. Jack Eichel's up there, who has 1 cup to his name as well. So, I mean, Alexander Barkov has
it could also
2 Stanley Cups. He's
it could also
3.
just be time. Some of these guys might age out.
Maybe. I mean, Crosby retires, so there's
there
one spot that
He's
goes.
up to 11th.
There you go, bumps him up to 11th.
But then you got to hope like Leo Carlson and stuff behind him kind of stay behind him.
There's that as well. I think he needs at least at minimum a 90-point season. We're probably hitting 95 to 100 points in a season for him to elevate to a top 10 center. But 12th, I think, is perfectly fair for him.
That's what I'm saying. I think it's fair now. It's just, you want to know there's upward mobility. It's like a job, right?
Yeah.
Hey, there's somewhere I can go with this, right? 100 points next year, top 10?
Yeah. If he gets 100 points this upcoming season, I think he gets in the top 10.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. So you got to change the question when you're being objective and saying 12's good. We're not just going to be a homer and go, hey, it should be better. You got to change the conversation.
12 is really damn good.
When you look at the 11, you go, yeah, you know what? It's good company. When you look at actually 13 to 17, you're like, that's really good company.
Yeah.
This is a good tier to be in.
Like Dylan Larkin's number 20 on that list.
Dylan Larkin. Trade candidate or not? The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, Tim Donnelly here for Miller Lending. Sometimes you got to change the conversation about Miller Lending because it's too awesome, right? You start talking about no-cost loans, meaning no closing costs, no hidden fees, no hidden surcharges, none of that. You end up going like, well, guess what, everybody? Where do you plan on buying your new house? Rather than, are you going to buy because of interest rates? Are you going to buy? Do you have the closing costs ready? Because those are just decided because they're that good. It's truly a no-cost loan, no closing cost loan. It's right there in the name. They don't repurpose it. They don't repackage it. They're not like, hey, we're charging you a conclusion fee, but there's no closing cost. No, it's not just called something else. No closing costs means no cost. Give them a call. They'll explain more. 919-447-3377. That's 919-447-3377. Or visit them online at millerlending.com. Once again, that's millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, NMLS number 250-2146. We'll take a break. When we come back, more observations from Durham Bulls Athletic Park, where the Stanley Cup is in attendance, and conversation about the Carolina Panthers. Stick around.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
Shador is somebody that showed you some signs last year and that people are excited about. And yet you're bringing the past with Deshaun Watson back into the fold here. The only thing I can think is that they're thinking, let's just throw him out there. We're already paying him and try to lose as many games as possible in order to make sure that we secure the best possible draft position that we can.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Rev up your summer at the Make This the Summer event going on now at John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington. Grab summer adventures when you drive home a brand new 2026 Ram 1500 for 20% off. Excludes RHO. See dealer for details. Or expand your options for off-road exploration with a new 2026 Jeep Gladiator. Save 15% off during the Make This the Summer event. Plus, get 2.9% financing for 72 months. So get off your keister and get to John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington today.
The best version of you starts with a good night's sleep. More energy, more patience, better focus. When sleep suffers, everything else usually does too. I'm Brandon Giggling, president of Parkway Sleep Health Centers. At Parkway, we make getting answers easier with convenient home sleep studies and appointments within weeks, not months, because better sleep changes everything.
Parkway Sleep, your fastest path to better sleep. Start today at parkwaysleep.com. Sound sleep, sound health.
Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like needing a lawyer, but getting some guy who just watches courtroom dramas.
How does the defendant plead?
Guilty.
Wait, what?
Also, objection.
You object to what?
Erroneous.
Counsel, approach the bench.
Hey, can I get a whack at the gavel?
You wouldn't settle for just any lawyer, so don't settle for just any insurance. Get the real deal with State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
With Bet365 Early Payout, you win even if they lose. Get paid out instantly when your team goes up big, even if they blow the lead later. Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in North Carolina.
This hour of The Drive is brought to you by All-Star Dog Training. You've seen their dogs featured in college and professional sports. They can train your dog, too. Visit allstardogtraining.com and schedule your free evaluation today.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I'm having a strange experience that I can only describe in one way.
Yeah.
And Dennis, you're gonna have this experience soon. I vividly remember, I think it was the day before my wedding at the rehearsal dinner.
All right.
Right. It was my wedding, so you got to go around. You got to make sure you're talking to everybody, making sure you're seeing everybody.
Yeah.
And I remember turning around and seeing one of my, I would say, most biggest character college friends.
Okay.
Like somebody who he gets the party started in my college memories. In what appeared to be a very serious conversation with my most serious uncle. Like,
all right.
Like my dad's brother, who I always saw as he's a tenured professor, and they were just standing next to each other having like what looked like a very serious conversation, and going in my brain I have this memory of like, never thought those two worlds would intersect.
Yeah.
Like never thought that would happen, right? Like it's just strange seeing that, right? Like my uncle likes to do like complicated math problems while we're like sitting around the pool. He gets out like a legal pad and hacks away at them. And I've seen that friend, go an entire night at the bar without stopping his dribble with a basketball because he lost a bet. And they're now in the corner having a conversation, and I don't know what they're talking about. We're sitting here at Durham Bulls Athletic Park. We come out here for Durham Bulls opening day. We come out here for special events with the Bulls. We have our 99.9 The Fan Zone section. I have memories of the Durham Bulls. I have memories with this. This is a friend group of ours.
Yeah.
Now we have people from our Canes memories coming up and going like, hey, I saw you outside the Lenovo Center for game 2.
Yeah.
And I'm going like, whoa. My Canes memories and my Bulls memories, I'm not sure I expected them to intersect in this way. But the Stanley Cup is, right center right now on the concourse. And thus, like my uncle talking with my friend from college, we are having some real crossover experiences here. The Stanley Cup, the Durham Bulls, Canes fans, Bulls fans, baseball, hockey, they go together like Rob Schneider said in Big Daddy, lamb and tuna fish.
Yeah, lamb and tuna fish?
Exactly.
Maybe for spaghetti meatball?
Exactly. How do we describe this line?
It's insane. Okay, so as you mentioned, right center field. So we're in Jackie's Landing down the first base line. To give a picture of where we are, we're kind of like halfway between the actual first base itself and the fair foul pole down right
field
field
line.
line.
The foul territory of shallow right.
Yes. So essentially that's kind of where we are. That's where we are. So the Cup is in right center field in the concourse behind the bleachers in right center field. And the line snakes around in that area and then comes all the way back here to Jackie's Landing, past like Chick-fil-A, past the Two Roosters.
Past Woolly World.
Right here where there's a bar right here, and it just wraps around the bar. So the line is actually coming next to us. I mean, this is it's got to be a few thousand people deep already.
If this line straightened out, right, because it's snaked a few times.
Yeah.
From right center field beyond the stands, it could go there, home plate, back, probably home plate and back.
Yeah.
You're doing multiple snakes from deep right to home plate. And it's to see the Stanley Cup.
It is several thousand people deep already. And with we opened up 20 minutes ago, not even 19 minutes ago, the gates opened, and we're already several thousand people deep. And people keep walking up the stairs to where we are, and they're just hopping in line to go see the Cup.
Hopping in line to go see the Cup. And I said this earlier, but I think it's cool. I do think fans feel an ownership of the Cup.
Yes.
I think area, North Carolina, feels like they won the Stanley Cup right alongside Jordan Stahl and Sebastian Aho and Brandon Bussey and the whole squad. So, getting your picture with the cup is kind of like, no, they wouldn't have won game 2 without me. Like I need to get my picture with the cup.
I will say when we had the broadcast, I know Max, who's back in the studio running the boards and everything today, I know he was in the parade.
Yep.
But when we were there, Tim, you sat up there at Taverna Agora, and you and Adam Gold, and I was just kind of walking around with the people kind of chiming in on stuff. And at the end of the parade, when the last fire truck and the last bus and all that went by, all the fans just started flooding the streets and just started walking. Mm-hmm. And I told you this, and I said, while we were on air live, I said, it feels like we are part of the parade. And a guy literally next to me, he said, hell yeah, we are. Mm-hmm. And that was like everyone, like a couple people looked like, yeah, we're part of this. So everyone felt part of that parade. Everyone felt part of that celebration, part of this cup win. And like you said, this just like magnifies it. I think about this. Is it the NC Central band?
There is a band. At least the drum line. I can hear at least the drum line.
I mean, Central's right here in Durham. It might be the NC Central marching band.
I mean, it is. I mean, you want to add another like intersection of
like college sports with
like
it?
It is one of the things. I tell this to other NHL fans of other teams, because they don't quite comprehend how hockey in the South works.
No.
And I'm going like, it's the same species, but only barely. Like, what the Canes have is different than what northern traditional hockey markets have. And I think this is a great, like, the baseball hockey overlap doesn't happen in a lot of places, but around here it is very much, the Canes have become a part of the DNA of an area that has like ancient histories of multiple other sports, right? The Canes showed up, and when the Canes showed up in this area, like ACC basketball, the roots were as established as you can possibly have. ACC football, the roots were as established. The Durham Bulls, right? Crash Davis. Those roots were deep. And sure, the Canes didn't start off like peers, but they've earned their status. You know what I mean? Like now, if you're a Bulls fan, you're probably a Canes fan. If you are a fan of a team in the Triangle, obviously there's heart allegiances there in college, but you all kind of agree on the Canes.
Yep.
And in some ways, you all agree on the Durham Bulls or some of the other smaller, lower division minor league teams in the area, the Wood Bat Leagues and everything. It's all very much a very, very cool sports ecosystem that we have the benefit of doing our job within, and everybody has the benefit of being a fan within. There's not many places, I believe, where you get this kind of energy at a baseball game for a hockey trophy. I'll put it like that.
Kind of wild.
There's a lot of people here, everybody.
And it's filling up even more and more.
And I said this earlier, I'll say it again. When you have these crossover events, I worked as it's not like I was roofing in July, but I worked kind of hard to find some through lines, some things that the Bulls and the Canes have in common. And the one that I settled on most, we have Walt Ruff here. Walt Ruff
is here.
You want to talk about strange crossover events? Our Canes crossover here at Durham Bulls Athletic Park was just Walt Ruff, Canes team reporter here at Durham Bulls Athletic Park. Walt.
What's up, Tim?
I need a first run scorer prediction.
Oh, my goodness.
I
was just looking at the lineup earlier. I'm ashamed to admit that was it Homer Bush Jr.
There we go.
Put me down.
Got him locked in. Where else do you grab hockey energy like this at a baseball stadium?
This is sweet, man. We just obviously pulled up, and the amount of Canes gear that we saw walking in, and then I walk up to the, what are we calling this, the upper concourse, and the first few faces I see are you two beautiful humans. What a great day.
There's thousands of people here, Walt, just wrapped around this whole entire outfield to take pictures with the cup.
I don't know what I was expecting. The gates opened at 5:30.
Yeah.
And this staircase right in front of us, I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Canes fans, as I said earlier, and I think you'll agree with this, they feel some ownership over this Stanley Cup. And it's like, they wouldn't have won game 2 without us. We got to go get our picture with the cup. It's our day, right? Like Aho had his, Stahl had theirs, the fans have theirs today.
This is the best, man. This is the best. I can't tell you how many times this summer, just talking to other people, they're always like, what's the best thing about living in Raleigh? And I say it's stuff like this, like how people come together for the Canes, right? I mean, I love the Durham Bulls, and obviously they have a great fan base themselves, but the amount of Hurricanes fans that have turned out here tonight is incredible. I think this is just the start of what should be a few really fun weeks around here. We know the Cup's back in town, so there'll be some more information announced soon, but yeah, this is going to be sweet tonight.
I think we're officially to the point. I was just saying this. The Canes, when they came to the area, right, the Durham Bulls had deep roots, right? ACC sports, deep roots. It's peers now, maybe even a little, like trees might be growing a little bit higher at times. You throw some championships. I think the roots are now, at least we're all looking around at equals. And events like this show it, right? The Durham Bulls game, you have, by the way, some people, a T-shirt that said Canes would have worked. They got the sweaters on and the winter hats, and I'm going, it's a little toasty, but it feels like this is the confluence. I guess what I'm saying is the Canes they're as triangle as it gets now.
I get it. I get what you're saying, and I'm right there with you. Totally aligned. This is, I can't say enough how fun this has been. You guys hit the nail on the head just looking around the concourse here. We even got a Alexander Nikishin jersey in front of us. No, I don't have an update.
We have 1 minute. Give us the Nikishin
update.
I don't have an update. You walked right into it.
If you
brought
see
up Nikishin.
Eric Tulsky here tonight, ask him, not me.
All right. Well, we appreciate you. We're right up against it. I wish we would have had you for more time.
Sorry, fellas.
But go enjoy it, man.
Thanks.
Walk around. Canes fans, we got a Canes celebrity here. It's Will Ruff, Canes team reporter.
Let's
you
go.
follow him on Twitter already.
Let's go.
Thank you to everybody here at the Durham Bulls Athletic Park. Thank you to the Canes for winning a championship and bringing the trophy here so we get to have cool events like this. He's got the Stanley Cup championship gear on. We have Overdrive coming up next. This has been a really, really fun event. Rest in peace, Dolly Parton. I'm sure we'll have some music for you here. So enjoy that on the way out. Have a great night, everybody.
Hey, Carolina Panthers fans, it's Dennis Cox from 99.9 The Fan. For all the inside information on your team, join